Going live in 5, 4, 3.
Our beloved 8% Hard AF Seltzer is now live in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Ohio, Montana, Idaho, Oregon, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Illinois. Go to hardafseltzer.com today, click on the store locator, and enter your city or zip to find the closest location nearest you.
We are gold for energy! Send it! Incoming! Put the money in the bag, man!
As I said, your paycheck is your thank you.
What's going on back there? This is awesome! Welcome to Earth! No, who's flying the plane? Get cockpit, go! God!
Black Rifle Energy, dropping near you.
Live from our studios in Austin, Texas, this is Drinkin Bros Fake News with Ross Patterson, Dan Hollaway, Papa G with the traffic,
How you feel? Not good. Yeah?
field reporter Hot Bob, and Delco Dan with sports. Welcome to Fake News.
Yeah, welcome to Drinkin Bros Fake News, everybody. Bringing you the realest, fakest news of the week. Sorry, both shows were a couple minutes late today or whatever. There's crazy cyber attacks that are going on. So all the stuff that we typically use for all these shows isn't really available right now. And there is no show on Twitter. So if you're on Twitter for the show today, the app is down for that as well. This is the first time in history, though, that it wasn't our internet, at least, and that it was somebody else's internet. I heard Iran, Dan. That's what I've heard all morning long.
No.
You don't think so?
Iran doesn't have that kind of tech capability.
You don't think they have a smart guy in Iran who can do weird shit on the internet?
No.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
One of the largest cyber attacks, most effective cyber attacks in human history was against Iran, actually. It's called Stuxnet.
Yeah, I remember we did that, right?
Melted down.
Yeah.
Well, the NSA made it, but an Israeli guy, and I guess a Jewish Iranian guy actually, uploaded it into their system and melted down one of the reactors. But no, Iran doesn't have that kind of capability. Russia doesn't even have that kind of capability. China does.
China?
Yeah.
China? Mm-hmm. China does. Look, old school things we can rely on, like Hard AF Seltzer, for Christ's sakes. All right? Ryan Mills just sent in a text. Ryan Mills out in these streets here in Texas. Just got you into the trading post in Possum Kingdom here for Hard AF Seltzer. North 40 in Possum Kingdom, Texas. The Cellar in Mineral Wells, Texas. Doggett Ford Park in Beaumont. So anybody going to the Arena League Football Championship on Monday night to see the Beaumont Renegades play, Hard AF Seltzer will be served in that stadium. We'll also be in the locker room afterwards for the players. Congratulations, guys. We'll be watching the game and rooting you on Monday night. It did get switched from Saturday. Let's see. Pelican Liquor in McKinney, Texas. Texas Cheer in Bernie, Texas. Love Bernie, Texas. Brock Liquor in Brock, Texas. Brew City in Euless. I'm going with Euless, Texas. And then Liquor Empire in Arlington, Texas. We appreciate it. Thank you for all the support for Hard AF Seltzer. And you can check us out store locator for all of these stores on hardafseltzer.com. Enter your city or zip. It'll take you to the closest location nearest you. All right, we got breaking news here at the top, and that's what we named the show after. This is so wild that we kind of had to confirm it. We'll show you the video, but this is the sitting senator of California, Alex Padilla, who said he would go into the ICE facility, and if he needed to get arrested to stop what's going on, he was going to get fucking arrested. And boy, did he get arrested. This is a good one here. So, correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, but wasn't this that fucking dickhole that stood up and screamed a bunch of shit during the address, the presidential address?
No, that was some other fucking gaylord, the guy with long hair, some Mexican dude from Texas, actually.
Man, all those beaners look alike. You know, it's weird. Those dippers, dude. It's just so... I'm kidding. We got Mexicans in the studio today. They said that they would allow it, dude. All right? I don't know if they do or not, but, you know, it sounds nice to say, for at least for the audio listeners here. But this is a sitting U.S. senator who is walked into an ICE facility there in California. And then play the video here. This is live. I mean, shit, this just happened 10 minutes ago.
Sir, hands up. I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the secretary because the fact of the matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your.
I also want to know specifically how many of our ICE agents have been docked.
On the ground. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
If you let my hands go, I stand behind my back.
All right. Cool. One hand. Lay flat. Lay flat.
Other hand, sir. Other hand.
Oh, they're really getting in there, aren't they? Holy shit.
I mean, that's how you handle somebody.
No recording allowed out here.
Well, it looks like they're putting 2 cuffs on. That guy's not strong enough to break one pair of cuffs.
It's not about strength.
That's my boss.
What's it
The
about?
second set of cuff doesn't make it stronger. No, it's because he's too fat.
Oh, really?
Probably, yeah. It's either guys that are super like muscular or guys that are super fat that you had to put 2 sets of cuffs on.
Yeah, me, it was, so when I got it first time, yeah, they used 2 cuffs, but it was, honestly, my muscles, though, were just out of fucking control. And the cops were like, man, we hate to do this to you, but we're afraid of your strength.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, that was in the report. It was in the police report.
No.
I said, they go, honestly, man, we didn't know if at some point you were going to turn completely bright green, like the Hulk, and absolutely rip our faces off our bodies. All of that is in the report. You guys can find that on your own if you want to. But yeah, man, this ICE shit is getting out of control.
Also, I don't know who that was. Is that Capitol Police or something? Because they didn't look like they were very good at doing this.
One had an FBI on their back.
Yeah, because it's Kristi Noem who is giving that speech, by the way. That's her voice that you hear.
Homeland Security, fucking special agents, probably. That guy's FBI, obviously. I don't know. That wasn't a very great. I mean, look, I'm not going to armchair quarterback because part of it is they fucking probably do know who he is and they don't want to rough him up too bad, so they're trying to be gentle instead of getting it done quickly.
Right.
Which is fair enough, you know.
Yeah.
That's odd. So yeah, you can't storm towards the Secretary of Homeland Security without identifying yourself, I guess. I don't know what crime that is. I mean, for it to be a crime, he would have had to have been asked to leave and then said no. That would have been criminal trespass, but he's just being detained. This is not an arrest.
Yeah, I'm not sure what this is yet, because obviously this is happening live here. But before this footage started, there was somebody on Twitter, I can't confirm this, so take it for what it's worth, who screamed out, and they said it was Alex Padilla, said, I'm here for 2 things, to free some illegal immigrants and for butt sex. And I'm not leaving until I get both of them. And I'm not sure if that was regarding Kristi Noem or the illegals.
Probably you could get both from the illegals. I don't know why you would have to involve a third party.
Well, you want to at this point.
No. I mean, I like simple and smooth.
Yeah, I did too. Like I don't need a cuck chair or anything, but you know, sometimes
I don't mind an audience, but one person as an audience seems weird to me. If it's got to be 2 or more people.
Okay. Well, there's shit. We got a bunch of listeners.
Which is why
today.
I've got a cuck bench.
Oh, you got a full bench?
Yeah.
Like
it's
like
actually
in a locker room.
It's 2 rows of 6-seat bleacher seats.
I like that.
Yeah. And they all have cup holders too. So
yeah, we can see over the other people there. By the way, and I don't know if he knew about this before he got arrested here, but today's Anne Frank's birthday. If she were still alive, obviously R.I.P., she would be 95 years old today. 95. That's plausible.
I never would have allowed that.
You wouldn't have.
No.
I would have.
No, to me, it's like having somebody that powerful out there. Had she survived that,
right?
I couldn't allow that.
Oh, like if the diary was published and then 15 years later she pops up.
She comes out of hiding or whatever.
Yeah, in like Arkansas, and you're just
no.
like, whoa, what the fuck, dude?
No, I couldn't have had that. Like you can't, as a man, you can't allow that kind of power to exist in your area without doing something about it.
I get it,
right?
man. Dude, Frank's aura was nuts. Her fucking aura, dude.
You can still see it in the house.
Nuts.
There's a big stain on the bed upstairs in the attic.
Oh, yeah.
That could have been from the...
Oh, yeah, we don't know.
From the DJing she was doing.
We'll never know there, but I'll read you here. So, Senator Alex Padilla is forcibly removed from some Anne freak-offs where you're all fucking in an attic.
Yeah.
Diddy. You don't think Diddy's ever had an Anne freak-off, dude, where they all had sex in an attic?
Certainly he's had some... I mean, any white party you could say is a Mormon crossover because of the holy underwear they wear. Although it's kind of an off-white color, to be fair.
No, it's white. I was there. It was white.
No, the holy underwear.
Oh, gotcha.
It's kind of off-white, so I don't know if that's real or not.
All right.
But, yeah.
Man, I would love it, though, if there was an Anne Frank freak-off and he just said, man, y'all bitches need to be quiet. I'm trying to masturbate. Y'all bitches need to be quiet. I would love it if there was just video of that. But in regards to this lovely senator who was arrested here, Alex Padilla, forcibly removed from DHS Secretary Kristi Noem's news conference in Los Angeles. Kristi, Noem, the dog killer, yeah. She's our fucking white Michael Vick, dude. Let's go. Noem was in L.A. to address the ongoing demonstrations protesting Donald Trump's immigration policies. So apparently, D'Anthony, over the weekend, this is going to get worse. There's going to be 1,500, perhaps, demonstrations.
Yeah, there's about 1,500 to 2,000 people being paid to protest in 1,500 cities across the country. And it's not really, it's somewhat in relation to the immigration stuff, but it's also because Trump has coordinated his birthday along with a military parade for the 250th anniversary of the United States Army.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I think Tim Kennedy's there, right?
Yeah, a lot of my friends are there.
There's a ton of people there.
Yeah, I got disinvited.
That's what I was leading you to there.
Mm-hmm.
You want to tell the audience why?
Because I refuse to take down things I've said about people in the administration.
Correct.
I was told directly that that's why.
Yes.
So, fuck you.
Yeah.
How about that?
And that's one thing we vowed on this show is to never back down from whatever it is. And like, all right, man, if we miss a party or two, whatever, who gives a shit? Same thing, like even with my bookie, dude. Like the deal with the Drinkin Bro sports show is I said, look, I love your company and it's great. I don't want to be forced to pick things that I don't think are actually going to come true. And that's the contract we have. So it's rare, but we do it. And that is a absolute 100% true story that Dan just told you, and I can 100% confirm that. Now, Padilla's office just made a statement here saying he was in L.A. to perform congressional oversights of the government's operations in the city across his state. The statement that the senator is no longer contained anymore, or detained? Detained.
Yeah, detained. He wouldn't have been arrested because it's not a crime.
Okay. So here's their statements. He was in the federal building to receive a briefing with Air Force General Gregory Gillot, or Gillot?
Gio.
Oh, yeah.
Gio.
Is that how we're pronouncing it?
That's how you say it. Yeah.
G-U-I-L-L-O-T?
Yeah, I had a buddy in the Army, Gio.
Oh, really? Okay. Gio, and was listening to Secretary Noem's press conference. He tried to ask the secretary a question and was forcibly removed by federal agents, forced to the ground and handcuffed. He is not currently detained, and we are working to get additional information. I gave you the additional information. I'm here to do two things. Free some illegals and butt fuck. And guess what, man? We're all out of illegals. But again, somebody else will confirm that, not me. Okay? Now, Chuck Schumer has just chimed in because this is all going on live here. He denounced the incident on the Senate floor, saying, I just saw something that sickened my stomach.
Was it raw hamburgers with cheese on top of it?
Nope. No, like you did for 4th of July? He said it was the manhandling of a United States senator. We need immediate answers to what the hell went on. Adam Schiff has just had a statement here as they're coming in one by one, so forgive me as they're all live, saying that Alex represents the best of the Senate, the disgraceful and disrespectful conduct of DHS agents. Pushing and shoving him out of a briefing like that demands our condemnation. He will not be silenced or intimidated. His questions will be answered. I'm with Alex. And then last but not least, America's favorite dipshit, Gavin Newsom. God damn it, I hate this guy. Said, this is, in regards to Alex Padilla, is one of the most decent people I know. This is outrageous. Dictatorial?
Dictatorial.
Is that a real word? Mm-hmm. I don't like it. That's real hard to say. And then shameful. Trump and his shock troops are out of control. This must end now. You know what must end now? Illegal immigration. That's it. So fuck off with all this shit. All right, now with these protests of the 1,500 or whatever that are going to go on allegedly across the nation here, why not just sit there and round them all up? That's the best place to do it.
Well, round who up?
The illegals.
Well, what makes you think they're illegals?
Most of them appear to be.
No, they're American citizens who are being paid by you, actually.
Really?
That's right.
No way.
Yeah. So opponents of Trump's little rally. I mean, it's the Army's 250th anniversary party, but he tried to do a fucking military parade in his first term, and it got kind of shut down.
Right.
I just think that's gauche and tacky, to be honest. I'm not a fan, but the No Kings protests are set to take place to counter what organizers say are Trump's plans to feed his ego on what is also his 79th birthday and Flag Day. I don't think that's what it is. Certainly, he's got a massive ego. That's true of anybody in politics, but I think he's trying to restore some national pride. I'm not sure he's I don't know that he's thought through the optics of this, to be honest, because I don't think it looks great. But the Army birthday celebration had already been planned by, I think Biden actually set that in motion for the 250th to get the planning, because it takes a long time to plan shit like that. And the Army is the Army no matter who's in office, by the way. Trump announced his intention to ratchet up the event to include the M1 Abrams battle tank, Paladin self-propelled howitzers rolling through the city streets. He has long sought similar display of patriotic force. The No Kings theme was orchestrated by the 50501 movement, a national movement made up of everyday Americans, so they say, who stand for democracy and against what they call the authoritarian actions of the Trump administration. The name 50501 stands for 50 states, 50 protests, one movement. Super gay. They, of course, had no problem with the cabal of unelected bureaucrats who were trying to shut down businesses and force vaccinate everybody a couple years ago. That wasn't authoritarianism.
No.
Just when Trump tries to enforce the law in the U.S., obviously. The retard in chief, that we had recently, who was drooling and eating ice cream and in bed by 6 p.m., that didn't bother them. Just this guy who's actually doing his job. They're organized by a group called Indivisible, which was founded by literal communists.
Okay.
Like actual communists.
Yeah, I'm looking at so there's a trail of paperwork here. Can you explain this to the audience?
Yeah, Bob. So go down to the Data Republican link and click that. They've received $7 million from George Soros, so they have some outside funding. But here's a list of the organizations who've donated to this stupid bullshit and how much money they've received in federal funding. So you can put that up on the screen, obviously. ACLU Foundation of Texas has donated to them. They've received $3.3 million in the last year from federal taxpayers. ACLU of Utah, Albuquerque Teachers Federation, American Civil Liberties Union as a top-level organization. There's millions and millions of ACLU.
Real quick, not to interrupt you, I apologize here. The Albuquerque one, how much did they donate, the teachers one?
$3 million.
No,
I don't know how much they donated to this cause, but they've received $3 million in federal funding.
Oh, gotcha. That's a lot of money.
ACLU Foundation, ACLU Inc., which are all somehow different companies and all received, ACLU Foundation, $280 million in funding. American Civil Liberties Union of Ohio, $5 million, so on and so forth. Bob, you can put this in the notes on the YouTube channel, and people can go look at it for themselves. But these are all organizations these are the primary organizations who are funding this indivisible charity that receive taxpayer funding. So you are paying for these protests. You are. I am. Everybody else is.
Great.
Now, if you're in California, it's even worse. So this organization called CHIRLA, or Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights. Oh, boy.
Wow.
Donated $500,000 to Gavin Newsom's recall campaign in 2021. Afterwards, it received $34 million in state taxpayer funding.
Jesus Christ.
So remember this, the issue is never the issue in Marxist revolutions. It's never the issue. The issue is always the revolution itself. Racism, immigration, fucking healthcare, gender shit. It's never that. It's always the revolution. There's power that exists, and they want to take it. And they use dipshit Americans to go out, hit the streets, and get power for them.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It has nothing to do with any of these issues. But yeah, the short version is you're all paying for this. So congratulations. When it comes to your city, and it's in every city, every major city. If you're in a city that has more than 50,000 people in it, it's coming to your city this weekend.
Awesome, man. Awesome. What are you going to do for it to celebrate?
I'll be at the beach. I don't give a shit.
Bob, play this clip here from, they just asked the White House correspondents, what's her name? Leave it?
Caroline Leavitt.
There you go. Play this clip from her. She is apparently live now talking about this No Kings parade that you just brought up here. Let's see it.
Does the president see himself as a king, and does the White House expect to see American flags being flown during these protests this weekend?
The president views himself as the president of the United States of America. This is a constitutional republic, and we want to see all of our citizens be proud of the country in which they are given the privilege and the blessing to live. And I think that those images of foreign flags being waved by illegal criminals and by violent rioters in the face of cars blowing up and of flames in the city. I have photos of that here to show you. With this violence and destruction that occurred is an image that Governor Gavin Newsom owns. This is his city, and President Trump saw these images, and he said that is not going to be accepted or tolerated, and hence why he deployed the National Guard and United States Marines who have helped to quell that violence.
Does the president see himself?
Okay. So that's what's happening there. And then in regards to what you're talking about here, as far as these things all being paid for, there was a guy that was arrested for passing out masks to everybody. Did you hear about this guy here today? And so when they arrested him, he had boxes and boxes of tear gas masks, whatever you want to call them, and he was handing these out to people in the crowds. And they've got the boxes, they've got everything, and now they finally have this guy arrested. There was somebody at one of these protests here that was handing all this shit out. Somebody had the wherewithal to go and track his car down. They got a screenshot of his license plate, his face. They sent that into the FBI, and then they went back to his house, and there was thousands and thousands of masks found in these boxes.
You think he paid for them?
That's so I don't, and I'll tell you why here. Because I'm gonna text you the photo, Bob, of this guy. Here, I'm going to go to Twitter, and Twitter's up, right? No, cyber attacks? Good. Okay. Go to Twitter and then pull this up here. So here's the guy's face on the left. This is the guy who they caught. And he was passing out thousands of masks and all that other shit.
Speaking of masks, that thing only works to protect your identity if you keep it over your face, fucky.
Well, he was driving.
Not smart.
You know, he didn't want to wear it when he was driving, apparently.
Well, that's...
It's the California weather that is beautiful, and you do drive with your windows down out there. But what is in this video next to it? Can you blow this up by any chance? A little bit. Okay. Was this him?
Let's see him.
Yeah, he just stops and a bunch of people pull a bunch of shit out of the back of his truck.
No fucking way, dude.
Which I don't know what the crime is.
Oh, they're pulling up with the masks.
Exactly.
Everybody
like
can have a
wearing
mask.
a
What is
face
that?
shield in public is obviously not a crime. And why would providing it to people be a crime? So what exactly did he get arrested for?
Well, I think they're trying to identify who is paying for these protesters and the riot gear and all this other shit.
He was charged with conspiracy to commit civil disorders, which is flimsy, to be fair. But they're probably going to try to do what you say.
Yes.
Which is pressure him into admitting who funded all this. Let's see. Helped distribute dozens, nabbed.
Oh, shit. Actually, hey, the New York Post, Bob, I'm going to send you this. They actually ran this on the front page right now. Check your Twitter and then pop that up. They're calling it the Damnation Army here. LA charities handing out gas masks, face shields, and other anti-ice gear.
None of that shit's illegal to own.
It isn't. But I mean, who's paying for this guy to do all of this shit? Because here's
all the organizations that I just told you
are paying for this.
Yeah.
Okay. So now with this, why couldn't they be charged? Because these are the ones that are attacking police and burning down houses, neighborhoods, all that other shit.
I'm not entirely sure what the crime is.
Rioting.
Rioting is a crime. Do you see him rioting? What, would passing out water get you arrested as well? I'm serious. People have to be able to protest. And just because I don't agree with them right now, and I don't agree with what some of these people are doing, does this guy handing out gas masks and face shields when people are I don't know what percentage of people are rioting versus protesting, right? I don't know that. Neither do you. Neither do the police, for the most part, right?
Right.
At least right now. And that's not a dig on them. It's just difficult to tell sometimes. But you could say that he's providing material support to rioters. Okay, you got to prove specifically that he had intent to do that. Like, I was only giving out face shields to people I knew were going to riot. That's a crime. Okay. I was giving out face shields to people who were going to be at a protest because I'm concerned about rubber bullets and tear gas. Not a crime, in my opinion, right? What would be the crime there?
I guess technically there wouldn't be, but the problem is, in my opinion, these guys are starting to overpower police and they're burning everything down.
So here's the issue for me, right? I agree with the cops and the administration on this, and then from a I guess ethical standpoint, and then from a policy standpoint, also agree. However, we have a constitution, right? And if we allow even people that we trust currently to build some kind of device, weapon, law, regulation to battle this right now, it'll be used against us. Unacceptable.
But these cities are going to fucking burn. And I again, it's like a not my backyard problem, I guess. But, I mean, clearly. I talked about this in 2020 when I moved in. I mean, dude, I was staying in downtown at the hotel when I was just looking at houses. All these signs were already professionally made, handed out. And then I saw them in the fucking airport on the way home, traveling to the next city.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same people, dude. And they're all getting paid to fuck shit up and then just leave.
Yeah, so it's not supposed to be easy, right? Like, we make it difficult to prosecute people for stuff like this because it is a constitutionally guaranteed right. So you really got to go across the line to get arrested for it. And so it's not going to be easy. It's not meant to be easy. It's meant to be difficult. So I don't want to hear that shit. I want to hear that we're making arrests of people that actually did violent shit, and then we're gonna fucking interrogate them, give them extremely long prison sentences until they fucking admit who funded the whole thing, right? That's the way to go. And certainly they're trying to do that, right? But in the meantime, the ancillary stuff that's emotionally motivated and whatnot to make their surveillance state or whatever, the security state, stronger, I'm against that. I'll always be against that.
For me, man, if you're going to, what about the pallets of bricks? That's not illegal either.
No, well, so that's different though, right? It's different because that's a weapon.
It could be used as a weapon, or you could say, hey, man, I'm leaving this here so a homeless guy could build a shelter for himself.
No, you couldn't.
Yes, you could.
No, you couldn't. No, nobody would.
Dropping off bricks, you cannot be charged for that.
Yeah, you could.
For what?
This is it's an implicit act in a conspiracy trial. So you know that there's a protest, like just for example, on Saturday of this week, there's going to be protests all over the place, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know about where they're going to be because there's this organization's put out maps to that effect. So if you know that and you put pallets of bricks there on purpose, then you've now committed the crime of conspiracy to incite riots.
But if you're passing out gas masks, and let's face it, they only use tear gas. I've been in a few riots myself. If you're passing out gas masks and rubber, or protection shields for or against gas or rubber bullets, it's the same thing because the only reason the police do that shit in the first place is because of violence. They're not just fucking blasting away for no reason.
Yeah, that's true, but your assessment is incorrect. So there's I guess you could say a graduation of force when it comes to civil unrest like that. And until they say that it's an illegal, an unlawful assembly, you still have a right to be there. So a dude that's 15 feet away from you might be trying to set a car on fire or be an asshole or talk shit to cops or get in their face or something, and he's committing crimes. I'm not, right? But they're going to use less than lethal to deal with that dude. Pepper balls or tear gas or rubber bullets. Well, a reporter got hit the other day. Was she committing a crime? No, right? And if you get hit in the eye with one of those things, you're gonna lose your eye.
Yes.
So I mean, that again, it's easy to track that back to a defensive posture and not to a criminal activity. You're never gonna get a conviction for that. I don't think.
The woman who got hit in the eye here in Austin just got $20 million.
I'd rather have my eye
than $20 million.
Yes.
Boy, that is. Which? Forgive me. I know it's cyber attacks and all that other shit. YouTube.
Yeah.
In the chat, tell me if you would rather lose one eye or have $20 million.
I'll put a poll up.
Yes, that is what I would love to know right now. What's your answer, Delco?
I'm keeping my eye.
Yeah, keeping the eye.
For $20 million?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just bet on myself to make the $20 million. I want 2 eyes.
Well, at your age right now, do you think you'll make the $20 million? Because I think that's a big question everybody needs to ask themselves.
Yeah, why not?
Dude, the other thing, then you only have one eye, so you only have one eye left to lose, and I would not take $20 million to have a 100% increase in the chance of me going blind.
What do you mean one eye left to lose?
Well, you got 2.
No, I understand that, but why do you think you're going to lose the other eye?
It's just out in the world. I mean, like something else could just happen.
Anything could happen.
I think I'd lose that eye and take that $20 million, guys.
Can we do a poll?
Yes, do a poll. I guarantee you, I bet you it's 80-20 on my side. I think people would give up an eye for $20 million.
I'm putting it up now.
I bet you Mr. Beast would do a video this weekend, dude, and you would see millions of people lined up to lose that fucking eye. Now, I don't want it stabbed with a fork or anything, but yeah,
Surgically
a rubber
removed.
bullet where I'm not gonna, well...
Dude, that rubber bullet situation was gnarly. That
It
might as
is.
well be removed with a fork. Like, that guy's face was fucked
But
up.
you don't know it's coming, Bob. Like a fork, though, you can kind of see where you're like, all right, cool, you're not gonna see that rubber bullet. Do a poll right now on YouTube. I am dying to know the answer to this. Dying. I'm going to say 80-20. We got some listeners back there. Just raise your hand back there. You can put the camera on them if you want. Losing your eye for $20 million? Everybody. Yes. And they're saying easy. Yeah, everybody's saying easy. Yeah. I agree. I 100% agree, dude. Yeah. Take that fucking eye, bro. Give me that $20 million.
Early lead for your eye.
Okay. So the poll is up in the chat?
Yeah, 62% right now.
All right, I like that a lot. I like that a lot right now. But yeah, as far as all of this is concerned, yeah, it's being paid for. I didn't know it was being paid for by all these companies and everything else. But it also makes Trump look better. Because it makes it look like, and by the way, same with the left during the BLM riots. And we said the same thing. And we call balls and strikes in the show. I'm sure we'll hear from somebody from the White House after the show. But look, with these fuckers burning shit down and for illegal immigrants who shouldn't be in the country anyways, it looks great for Republicans. Like, as long as you can keep this going through, 26, like, this was the thing that everybody voted against, and now they're seeing it happen in all these cities. Like, fuck yeah, dude.
Well, do this ad, and then we'll get into why we just fumbled.
Well, you and I just fumbled?
No, why the Republicans did, or I guess at least Trump.
Okay. First and foremost, our title sponsor on the show, OmahaSteaks.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros gets you $35 off your order for Father's Day. Bob, pop that up on the screen there. Look at this, dude. Love Omaha Steaks. My God. All right, so I got off the phone with these guys this morning. I had a call with them. They said there's still time. So you can get this shipped. It'll come Friday. So today's Thursday. If you're listening to my voice right now, today's Thursday. It'll come Friday or Saturday, just in time for Father's Day. At checkout, they've guaranteed me that. So, hey, dude, definitely go out there and do it. Let me see here. What did I get my dad? I'm looking at his order right now because I ordered it for my dad. I ordered it for my father-in-law as well. I think I got filet mignons. Yeah, here it is. Filet mignon. And I got the hot dogs and I got the smash burgers there. You can put anything in these goddamn boxes. And they're amazing here. Gigantic fan of this company. And they're the best in the biz, dude. They're some of the best in the biz because they got everything over here. It's not just steaks. It's not just their all new built for the grill smash burgers. It's also they got seafood, chicken, pork. They got desserts. They got everything over there that needs to get the party started at omahasteaks.com. Again, use that promo code Drinkin Bros for $35 off over there. If you're not satisfied with the food that you got, they're going to give you your money back, dude. 100% money back guarantee on this. You know Omaha Steaks. They've been America's original butcher since 1917. Family-owned company with over 100 years of expertise in the meat industry. Like I was telling you earlier, dude, they carry mouth-watering burgers, chicken, pork, seafood, desserts, and easy-to-prepare comfort food. This Father's Day, give Dad the world's best steak experience with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for guaranteed perfect gifts that deliver legendary quality. And for an extra $35 off, use the promo code Drinkin Bros at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com. And an extra $35 off with the promo code Drinkin Bros at checkout. Look at all the beautiful steaks on this site, man, to get started. What do we got up next, Anthony? You said Trump fumbled here. What happened?
So Trump has announced that he's planning amnesty for illegal immigrants.
I have not heard this.
Okay, well, you're about to.
Okay.
So, Bob, go ahead and read it.
So this is from Truth Social. This is Donald Trump's account.
Okay.
Our great farmers and people in the hotel and leisure business have been stating that our very aggressive policy on immigration is taking very good, long-time workers away from them, with those jobs being almost impossible to replace. In many cases, the criminals allowed into our country by the very stupid Biden or open borders policy are applying for those jobs. This is not good. We must protect our farmers, but get the criminals out of the USA. Changes are coming.
Okay. So changes are coming means...
I don't know. Well, what's the changes that are coming is that he's said now that he's going to write an executive order to this effect. You can just play this video.
Okay. Is this breaking news, by the way?
Yes.
Okay.
Farmers are being hurt badly by...
Hey, look, forgive us, man. Again, there's fucking
they have very good
attacks everywhere.
workers. They've worked for them for 20 years. They're not citizens, but they've turned out to be, great. And we're going to have to do something about that. We can't take farmers and take all their people and send them back because they don't have maybe what they're supposed to have, maybe not. And you know what's going to happen and what is happening? They get rid of some of the people because, you go into a farm and you look and people they've been there for 20, 25 years and they've worked great and the owner of the farm loves them and everything else. And then you're supposed to throw them out. And you know what happens? They end up hiring the people, the criminals that have come in, the murderers from prisons and everything else. So we're going to have an order on that pretty soon, I think. We can't do that to our farmers and leisure too, hotels. We're going to have to use a lot of common sense on that. Farmers are being hurt badly.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on this?
That is amnesty, which I am against, obviously. I mean, what the fuck? This is the same thing that Reagan did in California in the 1970s, and it turned California permanently blue.
So what was it, and what did he exactly invoke at that time?
He hasn't invoked anything yet.
No, Reagan.
Oh, Reagan, hold on, let me look up the actual executive order.
I wasn't alive. So I have no idea. No idea here what happened.
It was a bill, actually.
Yeah, it was Immigration Reform and Control Act of 19... Oh, it was in the 80s. I mean, I don't know why I said 70s, in the 80s, obviously, when he was president. Immigration Reform and Control Act, which granted legal status to certain undocumented immigrants in the United States. Now, the bulk of those were in his home state of California. And he did that after his second his re-election, obviously. So didn't have to worry about getting reelected after that. And who knows if he was even cogent at the time. But it legalized all illegal immigrants who entered the country before January 1st, 1982. And that's the reason that California hasn't had a Republican governor or senator or anything close to that in 30, 40 years. Okay. That's why. That's among a lot of stupid shit he did. Reaganomics was stupid. Doing away with no-fault divorce probably wasn't the smartest thing, but you know, I err on the side of liberty on that one. People can do what they want. Government shouldn't be involved, so I'm fine with that one. But ending the insane asylums in America, dumb. Did it because of a fucking thing on TV. Stupid fuck. And then banned machine guns and expanded the fucking security state and drove up the debt by 3x and so on and so forth. Raised taxes almost every year he was in office. The great Republican.
Ronald Reagan. Yeah. That you love so much here. Look, this one's a tough one. If you've been here 20, 30 years at this point, I mean...
I'm going to use that. The next time I get arrested for something, I've been doing cocaine for 30 years.
I know.
You can't arrest me for that now. That's just who I am.
By the way, I feel the same way about that, too.
It's
where it's
fucking
just like,
stupid.
with cocaine, it's just like, hey, guys, we've been doing it for 20 or 30 years. Can you back away? Can we just keep moving? Take the cuffs off? No, but, yeah, it's... If we would have had better shit in place all these years, which hindsight is always 20/20 and all this shit, then yeah. The problem is, over the last 4 years-ish, somewhere in there, I mean, they were emptying the jails and all that other bullshit and everything else. So like, yeah.
So this is, by the way,
there will be some middle ground here, I think.
There should be no middle ground. All these people have to go. The comment, by the way, echoes Trump in 2018 tried to allow amnesty for 1.8 million illegals in exchange for tighter border security at the time for a bill from Congress. Like, no, this isn't a negotiation. You've broken the law. You got to go. Now, if you want to leave the country and then reapply for a work visa, sweet. Let's do that.
Let me ask you this then. Would that be part of his plan of like, hey, we will give you work visas? Can you prove that you've been working here for 30 years?
I've never heard anybody from his administration say that. And I've mentioned this many times before, but I've written papers on this back in the day. Germany did this to Poland. They were having a big problem, not just with Polish workers, but with leak through of other Eastern Bloc countries coming in, organized crime, terrorism, shit like that. So they stopped issuing visas to Polish people entirely and instead gave them, you could apply for and receive a federal work permit, which allowed you to traverse the border as you saw fit, come over for the day and work for the day and go back if you want, right? Remittances were involved, obviously, like you pay some taxes to Germany and shit like that. But the onus at that point was put on the on German businesses. So if you got caught employing somebody that was not in possession of a verified work permit, federal work permit, then your business got liquidated and shut down permanently. Not a fine. Right now, it's a $3,000 fine.
Right.
If I come to your job site and you've got a bunch of illegals working there, or your fucking kitchen or whatever it is, it's a $3,000 fine. And that's it.
Yeah.
No other penalties. And people don't give a fuck about that. These big construction companies that are saving fucking tens of thousands of dollars a day, right?
Yeah, $3,000
on
is
this stuff. No, it doesn't mean anything.
For sure.
So,
I side with that. Look, I think if there's a voluntary thing of like, hey, come on in, tell us who you are, where you've been working, everything else. We tax you, we give you, the right paperwork and the visas and all that other shit. But you got until X date to do it. If you've been in the country that fucking long at that point, I'm okay with that. Because the chances are you didn't blow shit up or do anything else. And it's like, but how many people will actually do it? And I think that would tell you the number of the people who actually love America.
Oh, I know. I can tell you what it'll tell you. It'll tell you how many people hate Mexico. They don't give a fuck about America.
They just hate Mexico.
If they cared about America, they would have fucking immigrated here. They didn't immigrate here. They invaded. It's not the same thing. They didn't do any of the legal shit they were supposed to do. They just came here and they've been hiding out because these fuckfaces
for 30
will pay
years.
them. I don't give a fuck how long it is.
That's a long time.
If you don't have borders, you don't have a country. Period.
Oh, I agree.
Right?
I agree.
And the fact that you've been committing the crime for decades at a time, that shouldn't be in your defense. Right? That makes it way fucking worse. Those people are the ones that I would deport first. Get the fuck out. And if you want to come back the way you're supposed to, or don't come back at all.
And so what's the legal process to come back?
The legal process to come back, well, first of all, the U.S. has to do a federal work permit program, which they don't have. Right now, it's just visas, H-1Bs, H-1s,
okay,
so on and so forth. It's completely fucked. Like, that whole system is completely fucked. I don't know. So the Democrats, this would be a very smart move on behalf of Trump if he would actually do this. But I haven't heard anybody in his administration talking about this at all. If he did what I just said and institute a federal work permit program with the penalties very high for business owners,
yep,
the Democrats would have to vote against it because their plan this whole time was to get as many illegal immigrants in here as possible to pump up their fucking congressional district numbers.
Yep.
They will have to vote against it because if those people aren't counted in the census, then they don't count towards the congressional stuff. And if they're on federal work permits, they'll be eliminated from the census, right? Because they'll be demonstrably non-citizens. They can't have that because it would upend their entire plan. So it's going to be a situation. They could do this in the fall session, run these two bills simultaneously. One that outlines the federal work permit program, qualifications for it, so on and so forth, and then the penalties for breaking it, and then also the census thing, where these people don't apply to the census. You could do that. Democrats will be forced to vote against it, and they will lose in 2026.
Yep.
They would lose the midterm election because of that.
So everything you just said should be the plan, the goal, the idea, everything else across the board, and I'm fully behind it. So is he here at Gare Bear? Clip that and put that up because, yes, that should exactly be what that's the exact plan that should happen. Now, you know more people up there than I do. Can you not pitch him that exact word for word thing?
They just heard it because they listen to everything I say.
Oh, that's right. We got two guys that fucking transcribe everything up there. This. Who's the person? We'll call him fucking Captain. Who's the guy? Professor X or whatever it is. Professor X. Who's ever listens to us on a daily basis and transcribes all this shit up there. That would be a perfect plan. And I think that would solve literally every single problem there. And also, it would, like Dan said, be a force for Democrats to vote against it, and they would be fucked. That would be the ideal execution of a plan like this. And that I fully 100% support. And that would rock. So real quick, though, Bob, we got Alex Padilla here live. He just got out of fucking jail or cuffs or whatever here. Play that clip real quick here. What the fuck did this guy have to say? Curious as to what his response was. Now, they're saying that he, by the way, pushed his way up. Was pushing past people there. They didn't know who he was, and he was unannounced. And therefore, they ripped him out of the room and fucking arrested him. I want to hear what his explanation was real quick.
Senator Alex Padilla. You guys have some questions. I'm going to read a brief statement. I will not be taking questions, but allow me to read my statement. I'm here in Los Angeles today, and I was here in the federal building, in the conference room,
I got video
awaiting a scheduled briefing from federal officials as
really.
Part of my responsibility
there,
as a senator to provide oversight and accountability. While I was waiting for the briefing with General Guillot, I learned that Secretary Noem was having a press conference a couple of doors down the hall. Since the beginning of the year, but especially over the course of recent weeks, several of my colleagues have been asking the Department of Homeland Security for more information and more answers on their increasingly extreme immigration enforcement actions. And we've gotten little to no information in response to our inquiries. And so I came to the press conference to hear what she had to say, to see if I could learn any new additional information. And at one point, I had a question. And let me emphasize, just as we've emphasized the right for people to peacefully protest and to stand up for their First Amendment rights, for our fundamental rights. I was there peacefully. At one point, I had a question. And so I began to ask a question. I was almost immediately forcibly removed from the room. I was forced to the ground, and I was handcuffed. I was not arrested. I was not detained. I will say this. If this is how this administration responds to a senator with a question, if this is how the Department of Homeland Security responds to a senator with a question, you can only imagine what they're doing to farm workers, to cooks.
Oh, is he going to cry?
To day laborers.
Come on.
Out in the Los Angeles community and throughout California and throughout the country.
Holy shit, dude. He was tearing up there at the end. Way to go, Alex. Way to go, Alex. Use the tear stick next time. It's a cheat code in acting, man.
Or just hold an onion in your hand and do like this.
That one's tough, man, because that's gonna make it real red there. You got this thing called a tear stick. About 30 seconds before you put that right underneath your eye, you're good to go there, Alex. Just for the future, if you're gonna act like that. This is fucking madness here. And what's your question? It ended. He said the word illegal here. That's where it stops and ends with the word illegal. We're all done after that. There's no more questions. It doesn't matter how they're getting arrested or whatever's going on. Whoever's party rocking back there, you need to shut the fuck up. We got a live goddamn show going on. All right. Also, our next sponsor, dude, is Party. MyBookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros. Doubles that first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Get off the couch and get into the action today with MyBookie.com. I've been on fire here with fake news. 6 in a row. 6 in a row fake news shows where I have picked the winner here. Fucking A, dude. It's been a nice streak. Now, today might be Delco. We do a golf show on Drinkin Bros Sports over on YouTube and Spotify because we got video on Spotify now with the deal. So fucking angry, dude. You said JJ Spawn. I had to send a bunch of invoices and work and all that other stuff afterwards. And the J was the only thing that stuck in my head. I picked Steven Yeager, and I'm fucking angry about it. You're currently in the lead. Are you going to win this thing?
We got to hang on. We got a couple guys coming for him.
Who's coming for you right now?
We got Sung J M, Matthew Pavon, Rasmus Niergaard Peterson. He's not a real person. But yeah, there's some people that are coming.
It's -4, right?
Yeah, -4 is.
I think they could tie potentially. I don't think anybody's getting a 5. That course is too tough. I think you got this. God damn it. 28-1.
What? No, 95-1.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you bet $100 too?
$25.
Oh, you fucking loser, dude. God damn it. That would have been $9,800. Shit.
Still over $2,000.
Yes, it is. But it's the major. We talked about this on the show, dude. Like you go big for the majors, man. God damn. Respect your own sport, Delco. That's on you, friend. Either way, all of us.
First round leader.
Been a fight. So what? I won, motherfucker. I put 100 on that shit, dude. It was awesome. What do we got on tonight? NBA was last night, so we picked the Pacers. Dan, you picked money line. So did I. And the 5.5. We won all the things. All of these bets, by the way, from MyBookie.com are in Drinkin Bros Sports on Facebook. It is a private group. That way you can see all the bet slips right before they happen. All of it. Is there NHL on tonight?
Yeah.
All right, what do we got here?
Panthers -1.5. Panthers.
Is it -150?
-150 money line.
Oh, shit.
And another 6.5 over under.
All right. I'm going to take the over. Let's go. Look, the over has been happening a lot. I'm going to go with the over tonight of 6.5. That is my winner here. A lot of these games have been 4-3, 4-3. I think the last one was 6-1, which still hits. So, yes, give me the over of 6.5 tonight. D'Anthony, who do you think is going to win this game?
That's a good question. This might be the most difficult game so far to predict because I don't know who that's not really true. There's some question about who's going to be the goalie for Edmonton tonight, whether they're going to bring in somebody else.
No way.
Yeah, well, you gave up. That's the thing. You gave up 6. Well, I guess he gave up 5. And then the other guy that came in, I think, gave up 1.
Okay.
But if you get dusted for 5 goals in a game like that, when your team's not scoring much, then, it's always a question in the NHL. It's not like others. If you're like a top-level goalie, not so much. But I don't know, man. To be honest, I think Florida's going to win this. I think they're going to win the series.
I hope they do because I picked Florida to win the series. So yeah,
I think they're going 4-1.
All right,
because I think the problem that Florida was having in the first part of this series was, excuse me, that Bob wasn't quite as sharp as he was in the previous series, but he appears to have sharpened up again. Now look, Edmonton's got the best offense I think we've ever seen. Well, Edmonton has one of the two best offenses we've ever seen. The other one was also Edmonton back in the 80s with Mark Messier and Wayne Gretzky, right?
Okay.
They had, I think during that stretch, I think they had 3 or 4 seasons where they had 300-point scorers, which I don't think has ever happened before.
Yeah.
At least not that many times in a row. So I think that Florida's going to – I think Florida wins the next 2 and it's over.
I think Florida wins the series. If they got a new goalie tonight, go all in. Oh, my God.
Well, I don't know if they've said, to be honest. I haven't read anything about it, but –
all right. Well, look, regardless, if you're not a hockey fan, NBA playoffs are on, or the championship is on. But then also, all the odds are up for college football, pro football, everything across the board, including opening week 1 or 0 odds in college football. Week 1 odds for NFL is already up, which is wild to me. I just saw Rodgers at training camp for the first time this morning for the Steelers. That's looked weird as well. But you can bet on all of it on mybookie.com. Use that promo code Drinkin Bros to double that first deposits all the way up to $1,000. If you don't have money on it, dude, you really feel alive inside. Next up, Maxine Waters supports rights.
Let's skip this one.
Why? The wigs? She's all wigged up, dude.
I'm on a clock here, and this one's stupid. Here's the short version. A bunch of different times since the mid-'90s, or since the early 90s, because she's been there for 36 years, by the way.
Been there a long time.
Yeah. Routinely calls saying she's going to take people out. And like Rumsfeld, for example, or Trump. I can go take Trump out right now. I don't know what that means because she's a frail old lady, but
I think she's 96, Bob.
No, she's in her 80s.
Maxine Waters, look her up.
I think she's 86 actually, so she is pretty old. But yeah, she's just said dumb
86.
shit.
86
repeatedly for years. That's the thing on her. I want to get to this Israel-Iran story.
For sure. By the way, a quick update for the audience as well. Spotify is now down also due to the cyber attack. I don't know that you'll be able to get up the Ross Patterson Revolution from earlier until this is over. So Spotify is down. Yeah, I'm getting tagged by a bunch of different people and listeners and all that other stuff. So yeah, this is massive. This is going on to a ton of different companies right now, and we don't have the answer currently. Next up, Israel versus Iran. Israel is considering taking military action against Iran, most likely without U.S. support in the coming days, even as President Donald Trump is in advanced discussions with Tehran about a diplomatic deal to curtail its nuclear program, according to 5 people with knowledge of the situation. Israel has become more serious about a unilateral strike on Iran as the negotiations between the U.S. and Iran appear closer to a preliminary or framework agreement that includes provisions about uranium enrichment that Israel views as unacceptable. Details about the Israeli discussions emerged before the International Atomic Energy Agency's Board of Governors formally found that Iran isn't complying with its nuclear obligations for the first time in 20 years. Tehran, has failed to declare as nuclear sites. What are your thoughts on this?
I got a lot of them, actually. First, I don't know if any of this is true, right? Like, government's done nothing to earn my trust, and I know that they're saying this, but if it all sounds familiar, it's because this is the same shit Netanyahu was saying about Iraq back in the day. Now, Trump so far has resisted Netanyahu's attempts to drag us into this, and he will continue to do so. Trump's not going to allow us to be involved in this. He's committed to not letting us get into this. So at the end of the day, it's going to become Europe's problem, not ours, frankly, for the reasons I've said before. We'll get more into that in a minute. Bob, if you want to click that first link, we can listen to like all this stuff that they're saying about Iran. They're weeks away from a nuke. We can't allow them to have a nuke. Weapons of mass destruction, blah, 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 blah. All this. This is Netanyahu back in 96, I think, talking about Iraq. See if any of this sounds familiar to you.
If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region. And I think that people sitting right next door in Iran, young people, and many others will say, the time of such regimes, of such despots, is gone. There is a new age. Something new is happening.
And that is speculation on your part, or you have some evidence to that effect?
You know, I was asked the same question in 1986. I had written a book in which I had said that the way to deal with terrorist regimes, well, with terror, was to deal with the terrorist regimes. And the way to deal with the terrorist regimes, among other things, was to apply military force against them.
The way we did in Afghanistan.
The way, for example, I want to answer your question.
Well, I guess I'm running out of time, so I quickly was trying to get there. We've done, I think, what you proposed in Afghanistan, yet I haven't seen that sort of neighborhood effect.
Well, I think there's been an enormous effect.
Yeah, it was called Al-Qaeda.
We were told that there would be a contrary effect. First of all, people said that there would be tens of thousands of people streaming into Afghanistan, zealots who would be outraged by America's action, and this would produce a counter-reaction in the Arab world.
But I think
like he's talking about Al-Qaeda right there.
We're going to see all the other
pretending it didn't happen. All right, cut
what
this.
we saw is something else. First of all, we...
Go to the next one. This is Netanyahu trying to get us to invade Libya as well.
Okay.
Which we, to some degree, forced them. This is back in the fucking 70s, or early 80s, rather. This is in 82, if I'm not mistaken.
If you take away the Soviet Union and its chief proxy, the PLO, international terrorism would collapse.
If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region. Obviously, we'd like to see a regime change, at least I would, in Iran, just as I would like to see in Iraq. The question now is a practical question. What is the best place to proceed? It's not a question of whether Iraq's regime should be taken out, but when should it be taken out? It's not a question of whether you'd like to see a regime change in Iran, but how do it...
Are there any other nations that you would recommend that the United States launch preemptive attacks upon at this point?
The answer is categorically yes. The two nations that are vying, competing with each other, who will be the first to achieve nuclear weapons, is Iraq and Iran. But a third nation, by the way, is Libya as well. Libya is trying very rapidly to build an atomic bomb capability. So you have here now three nations. All stand together to stop Iran's march of conquest, subjugation, and terror.
It's the same speech over the course of 30 years. And it's Israel getting us involved in wars that have nothing to do with us. Because frankly, even, you can cut this, even nuclear Libya, fuck do I care?
Yeah.
They don't have the capability to fucking drop one on us.
No.
Neither does Iran.
Nope.
Or none of those countries. They have it has nothing to do with us. Now, all these conversations that he's been having over the past 40 years or so now sound exactly the same. It's the same words, same phrases over and over again about different countries. And really what it's about is Israel establishing dominance over the Middle East. They want to be the only country there that has a nuke. Period. Right?
Sure.
They don't want anybody else to get one. And, you know, that's their right to feel that way, I suppose.
Uh-huh.
But it has nothing to do with us. I don't give two fucks if Israel exists or not.
So I think if they do bomb Iran, I think and then Iran retaliates in some way to Israel, I think the U.S. will get involved.
Nope.
Why not?
Because that would have been first strike. We would have no right in international law to do that. And Trump is one of the only people that actually takes it seriously. Now, on the other hand, the Ayatollah says shit like this, right? So I don't trust anything that comes from our government. I definitely don't trust anything that comes from Israel's government because they're trying to use us as a pawn to do their dirty work.
Right. Which we've done forever.
We've been doing it for a long time.
So why wouldn't we do it now?
But there's a new sheriff in town right now, but in 28, it'll happen. If we don't go to war with Iran now and this doesn't get settled before 28, we'll go to war with them then. That's my prediction. But this is the Ayatollah 2 days ago, I think. Yeah, something like that. Play this.
از این حرفایی که در این سفر رئیس جمهور آمریکا به منطقه مطرح شد لایق جواب دادن نیست اصلا
Man, you got to love that passion in there, you know? Oh, Death to England as well? I didn't know they shouted Death to England as well. I thought it was just us. Okay.
Yeah, this is their little, like, if it was a football club, that would be their little speech.
No shit.
Death to America, death to England, death to Israel.
I didn't know the other two were in there.
You can cut that.
So that kind of feels gypped.
So that's like from the river to the sea. It's their little tagline. If somebody's got a, like, look, if you've got an enemy and they say that our goal is to wipe you out, you should probably take them seriously, right? So that's the other part of this, is that Iran is indeed intent on establishing a global caliphate.
Yeah.
At least the current leadership, because the former leadership of Saudi Arabia felt the same. Current leadership does not feel that way, right?
And that's why I think U.S. will get involved.
Maybe. And now the IAEA, for the first time since this has started ever, is openly accusing Iran of developing nukes and enriching uranium. There's a link in there. What is that noise I'm hearing? Is there a dog in here?
Dog
People
barking.
coming and going, who knows?
Yeah, a lot of listeners here today.
Yeah, pull this up. Excuse me. So yeah, this is just read that, Bob.
Breaking, the International Atomic Energy Agency Board of Governors announces that Iran is non-compliant with its safeguard obligations under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. IAEA has found that the regime is doing the following: systematically running a secret clandestine nuclear weapons program, accumulating highly enriched uranium only needed for nuclear weapons, obstructing verification and monitoring efforts. And it's the first time the IAEA reaches such a position in over 20 years.
Mm-hmm. So that's not great, because the IAEA is kind of a globalist. It's Hans Blix.
Yeah.
Hans Brix. Not anymore, obviously. I think he's dead. But that was the same weapons inspectors we sent into Iraq that were just incompetent. You know, yeah, it's not great.
I think we get involved in this for real. For whatever reason, man, over the years, like
hold on a second. Delco, who are you talking to in the chat?
Oh, I'm just talking to people, just seeing, like, Israel for a while has been trying to, like, get their kind of roots in our politics, kind of controlling what we do.
Oh yeah, forever, dude.
I don't think that's correct, though. I mean, they certainly want to influence it, but the idea that Israel is up here and we're down here being influenced is not correct. Like, this is James Angleton, who's the guy that gave Israel nukes, was the fucking director of clandestine affairs for the agency, right? He wasn't some fucking scrub that they recruited. No, he was a guy that, against JFK's wishes, went over there and gave them nukes because he wanted them to have it. Because American Protestants are the #1 supporter of Zionism on earth. More so than American Jews, actually, or the Jewish diaspora outside of Israel.
But Israel is influencing our politics everywhere.
You can say it's a kind of a chicken or egg thing, though, isn't it?
No, like
yeah.
What do you
mean no? What do you mean no? You didn't even you didn't even listen to what I said or rebut it.
I did,
just said
but
no.
it's going on right now, and it just influenced an election up in New York. They gave the opponent $20 million.
Yeah, AIPAC as an organization does stuff like that for sure. But you cannot tell me that people like Lindsey Graham, for example, and the vast majority of the American politicians that are evangelicals, for example, they want this just as much as Netanyahu does. They're not getting tricked or paid off by him. They're doing it because that's what they want, period. So it's not us being controlled. That's a ridiculous thing to say.
We're allowing us. Scratch that. I'll rephrase. We're allowing it. We're allowing us to be controlled. In no way should AIPAC exist in this fucking country to influence our politics.
That I agree with, but we're not allowing anything. We're holding hands with them.
Still going on?
Skipping. Yeah, that's right. It's going on because we want it to.
And we're going to hold hands with them and skip in a fucking war. If they say it and we do it.
Again, yeah.
We're going to do it.
Do you believe the Mossad and CIA are just kind of like, two sides of the same
No,
coin?
they butt heads quite a bit, but I mean, I guess so do the intelligence agencies inside the United States. And technically speaking, we're on the same side too, right? So yeah, I mean, they butt heads quite a bit, but I would say even the Five Eyes are pretty close, too close for my comfort. I don't think we should be establishing these. So here, you know what Five Eyes is, right?
No.
Like the 5 organizations that are involved in this.
CIA, FBI.
No. Countries. So U.S., Canada, Australia, U.K. Who's the other one?
Why is it called the Five Eyes then?
Intelligence communities. The 5 intelligence organizations. So The reason that they exist is because it's illegal, for example, for the United States government to spy on you, for the intelligence community to spy on you. But it's not illegal specifically for MI6 to, right? We have the same deal with Saudi Arabia. We've been spying on their people for them for years because they're not allowed to, technically speaking. So we spy on them, they spy on us, we exchange information. Technically, we haven't committed any crimes. That's what it is. That's all it really is. They say it's like New Zealand's the only one. They say it's like an intelligence alliance, but all it is fucking like, hey, let's spy on each other's citizens, basically. This guy, dull and tired, you're fucking banned. See ya. Anyways, yeah, it's just like the whole thing is nonsense. So I don't know how close. Like I know for a fact that Mossad and MOD butt heads with CIA all the time, but that doesn't. I mean, so does the FBI and fucking CIA and NSA.
What's the religion though that like from that Ayatollah clip that you just played?
That's Shia Islam.
Right.
Right.
Which is the worst kind?
No, not necessarily. Like the Sauds were Sunni.
Okay.
Right? The Ba'ath Party's Sunni.
So you don't think the U.S. would get involved with bombing Iran if Israel got in it first?
No, I don't think so right now. Not with Trump in power. They would have to come after us specifically to do that. Now, that's possible. It's also possible that Israel or somebody else would launch a fucking false flag, right? And Iran nuclear facilities get hit, and then our military bases over there get hit somehow, and by Iran, quote unquote. That wouldn't shock me either. Like it's so like it's easy to dismiss stuff like that sometimes, but then you remember things like Operation Northwoods and so on, where the U.S. government was literally writing plans to launch false flag attacks on our country. The fact that our CIA killed our president and so on and so forth, right? Like it's not that hard to believe this stuff, in my opinion, that it would happen. So it's possible we get dragged into it. I know Trump is, you're gone too. See you later. Boop. Like for Trump, he doesn't want this. Like it's part of his identity to not take us into wars. No new wars in his first administration. This one's been the same, right? So I don't think that even Iran or Israel can drag us into this one right now.
A couple bombs, though, would be fine as long as there's no troops on the ground and all that other shit.
Yeah, and again, this is like a much bigger problem for Europe than it is for us. Certainly, we've got our share. We've got a couple hundred fucking shitheads that are in our country right now that are terrorists and terrorist sympathizers and shit like that. But nothing like what's going on in Europe. You know what I mean? Like we could just fence off a couple of cities and be fine. One of them up in Detroit, I'm sure, or near Detroit. I'm sure you're familiar with that one.
Yeah.
But we could manage it a lot better. Europe is fucked. Like the pejorative way to say it is it's crawling with Muslims now.
Yeah.
And if anything happens in Iran right now that gives them a reason to pop off, it's fucking on. So I think, certainly Europe is in much bigger trouble than us right now with all this.
So here's what I personally think would happen. I think if they do it, it will be a strategic attack. I think we've been shown in the past that Iran can't do anything, and it doesn't really fucking matter anymore. Could they pull off another terrorist attack in Israel? Potentially, yes. But beyond anything that on a global scale, no. And I think if Israel got together with the U.S. and said, hey, we're going to bomb all these strategic facilities, because I believe Trump just made a statement the other day about no nukes for Iran.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I think that's a fair assessment. I don't think anybody globally wants Iran to have nuclear weapons.
So if they coordinated with Israel and said, hey, we're going to go and bomb all these sites that we have the intelligence on, and we're going to wipe them out, and they're not going to do shit in return. Yes, I think the U.S. absolutely starts bombing those facilities.
Yeah, maybe. And I don't think so, though. I don't think the U.S. would actually bomb them, frankly.
Well, would they have Israel do it?
Well, Israel doesn't need our permission, although they ask for it.
Yeah,
because they don't ask.
I think they would ask.
They don't ask for our permission. They ask for our support, which in some ways is the same because they don't think they can do it without our support. Right. I disagree with that. I mean, what is anybody else going to do?
Who?
Anybody else around? So any of the Muslim nations right now that are a direct threat to Israel, what the fuck are they going to do?
So nothing, but I think this brings up a bigger overall question, which is something you've said on the show. With all these fucking Muslims infiltrating Europe and all this other shit, I think the terror attacks that would happen in these other countries, and we're seeing it in America with this Israel-Palestine bullshit and these ICE raids and protests and people getting shot and whatever. I think it would set off a chain of events in Europe, and I think that's probably the bigger overall question. Not can we just bomb Iran and all their facilities, nuke facilities, and get away with it? I think that's an easy yes. I think it's the bigger overall implications of what it would do around the world to all these fuckers who support the religion and saying fucking death to... I was unaware of death to England, death to America. And what was the third one? Was another country in there, death to them too? Israel.
Yeah, I mean, everybody. They just,
right.
If you're Jew or Christian, they don't like you, which is interesting. I think there's still quite a few Christians in Iran, to be honest. So I don't know that it's, this is just like any other situation where there's a concentrated power at the top that believes one thing and the vast majority of people are fucking hungry, right? That's usually how it goes in these countries. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It seems unlikely to me that just from the public statements and posturing that they'll be able to get us involved in this.
Okay.
And to be honest, a big part of me thinks that right now Trump is letting Israel spout off at the mouth. Because remember, he fucking shut Netanyahu down in person one time.
Oh, yeah.
But my understanding, or my belief so far, is that Trump is letting Israel talk shit because he's trying to use that as a threat to force Iran into a better deal. Right, so he does this thing. He cut off communication with them for a while because they were being dicks or whatever, and then he lets Israel talk a little shit, right? And then he comes back. It's like a weird public interrogation or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, like looking at all this shit, I think if you strategically bomb all their nuke facilities, get them out of there, I don't think there's going to be that much retaliation. Also, civilians aren't killed and blah, blah, blah. It's probably a win-win. We probably help each other out. And then that's it. And then you go back to the table with everything else that's going on out there. Because let's face it, there's a lot of shit going on around the world. Speaking of a lot of things going around the world, we're talking about shit. Ketone.com/Drinkin Bro. Save 30% off your subscription order. Plus, you'll get a free gift with a second shipment. Fun stuff like a free 6-pack, Ketone IQ merch, and more. Go to ketone.com/Drinkin Bros to get yours today. All right, what is it? It's just a clean shot of energy. I take one, and there's an empty bottle on the floor. I take one before every single show. If I'm writing late at nights, shit, I was here the other night till like 2 a.m. writing, and it's beautiful, beautiful. I know how long it'll last. I'm not going to get the fucking jitters. I'm not going to crash. I'm not going to get all the crazy shit that comes with the gas station stuff that's over the counter here. This is no carbs, no sugars. All the Olympic athletes are using it. The DOD just pumped a bunch of money into these guys. They've got no caffeine shots. They've got shots with caffeine. Now, the caffeine that a lot of people are using these days is through green tea. So the green tea leaves and all that other stuff, they're using that for caffeine. If you really want to jack that up through the roof, you can. But look, even if you're just sitting behind a desk, man, at a daily job, and you're listening to the show, you had a big lunch, you had Chipotle, and you're having trouble locking back in there, take a shot of this, man, after lunch when you get back, and you're good to go. Those are the bottles that we're talking about there. So those are the bottles that I take every single day. Save 30% off your subscription order, plus you'll get a free gift with your second shipment. Some bottles like this at ketone.com/Drinkin Bros. That is ketone.com/Drinkin Bros to get yours. Bob, doing a great job today. This site's not under cyber attack, so we're good. We're good. Jeez, man, this is everywhere right now.
If they're going after Ketone IQ, we got problems.
If this comes back and it is Iran for all of these fucking, I mean, Spotify's a massive company for Christ's sakes. If this comes back and it is all Iran, that could be the ammo you need of like, hey, man, they should have fuck up everything. So who knows, man? But it's been a morning. Holy shit. Next up, China. Deal done, apparently. President Donald Trump on Wednesday said he was very happy with the trade deal restored a fragile truce in the U.S.-China trade war a day after negotiations from Washington and Beijing agreed to a framework covering tariff rates. The deal also removes Chinese export restrictions on rare earth minerals and allows Chinese students access to U.S. universities. We made a great deal with China. We're very happy with it. Trump told reporters before a performance at Washington's Kennedy Center on Wednesday evening, we have everything we need and we're going to do very well with it, and hopefully they are too. Earlier, Trump's used his social media platform Truth to offer some of the first details to emerge from 2 days of marathon talks in London. That, in the words of U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, puts meat on the bones of an agreement reached in the last month in Geneva to ease bilateral retaliatory tariffs that had reached crushing triple-digit levels. Our deal with China is done, subject to final approval with President Xi and me, Trump said. Full magnets and any necessary rare earth minerals will be supplied upfront by China. Likewise, we will provide to China what was agreed to, including Chinese students using our colleges and universities, which has always been good with me, he says, with an exclamation mark. We are getting a total of 55% tariffs. China is going to get 10.
Yeah, so the 55% represents the sum of a baseline 10 reciprocal, in addition to elevated tariffs, and then theirs is back down to 10. So Lutnick said the 55% rate on Chinese imports is fixed and unalterable. And then asked afterwards by CNBC if the tariff levels on China would not change. He said, you can definitely say that. That's what unalterable means, CNBC.
Yeah.
You guys take the weekend and look that word up.
Sure.
Figure out what that means. Now, a lot of specifics and details. This is a 6-month agreement, I think. For now, that's a framework to build on for the future. So I guess the question is that also Besant said it wouldn't restrict U.S. export restrictions, or wouldn't change, rather, export restrictions on high-end artificial intelligence and shit like that China's been trying to steal from us. So the question is, do revenues generated from this, which would be about $240 billion a year, and then the tariff savings for us, limit like pulling ours down from 20 to 10%, which is about $20 billion. So let's say $250 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Is that enough money from China to give our only real global adversary unfettered access to our universities and businesses? Because that's what it does.
And by the way, that was my first thought when I read this, because, forgive me, I don't read Truth Social. Right? I'm not a member of that. I don't even know what that is. I'm not a social media poon hound, so forgive me. I think that's the biggest takeaway, because this is the first time I'm reading it, is, yeah, you're fine with the students going here and everything else. Look, we all know Asians are smarter than everybody else. I'm fine with that. I've accepted it long time ago. I lost a 4th grade spelling bee to one, all right? It's my dreams to this day. And then Joey Cho. Yeah, I'm going to call you out, Joey. Your mom called the fucking school, said that I didn't help you with the group project, although I presented the whole goddamn thing. And you said you did the work in the poster board and everything else. Fuck off, Joey. I'm sure, you went on to Harvard or whatever it was. He was smarter than everybody else in the class. The question is, though, how many of these people do you bring over who are trying to help American society because they're so fucking smart versus are they here to spy on us? And that's an answer I don't know. Maybe you do.
Yes, motherfucker. So not only that, that's not even the whole story. So certainly the bulk of these people are being sent here to spy on us, right? Whether they know it or not. Because what happens is...
Yeah, that's what I can't figure out. How do you do it?
What happens is you get bumped by a Chinese agent when you go back. Even if you, let's say you're...
What does bumped mean?
I'll get there. So let's say you're just a normal dick in China and you're like, hey, I want to go to fucking MIT because that's the best engineering school that exists for whatever I'm looking at, right? Fair enough, I guess. You don't have any ill will. You don't give a fuck about communism or the CCP or even maybe China. Who knows? But you come over here, and then on your way back, you get bumped. It's called bumped. An intelligence officer will approach you and make contact.
Okay.
Right? And even if you were completely on the up and up, they start asking you questions and asking for information. And maybe you don't know that the information you're giving them is important. Right? Maybe you got an internship from MIT at some fucking company that's working on AI. Right? And now you're spilling secrets. And maybe your individual secret doesn't really matter. But when it's added to the other 50 secrets that they got from the other 50 people that are over here, now it fucking matters, right? So this happens all the time. This is exactly what they're doing. That's one side of it. The other side of it is that they come here, benefit from our education system, and people will say shit like, oh, they pay double tuition. I don't give a fuck how much tuition these communist universities are getting. Why should that affect me?
Yeah.
It's not the point of subsidizing it. It's the fact that they're coming over here and stealing our goddamn intellectual property. And then people from China, they don't emigrate here afterwards. They take their ideas and their education, they go back to China and make China better. How the fuck does that help America?
Interesting. I didn't know that.
They should be banned. Not one motherfucking Chinese person should be at one fucking American university. Not one.
I agree. Here's the other thing, too, because I didn't know any of this, and then just thinking out loud here. Going back to what I said at the top here of Asians are smarter than all of us. We all know that they are. Smarter than us honkies and all that other shit, and I'm fine with that. However, if you're that smart, why don't they have Harvards and Yales and Princetons over there?
Because they're not.
What do you mean?
Who says they're that smart? They work hard.
Do you ever grow up with a Chinese kid or go to college with one?
I know that they worked hard.
They house you. You ever beaten one?
Yeah.
I have not. I mean, it is fucked, dude. And then if you look at the stats of Harvard and all the top schools in the nation, their biggest issue is to meet the levels and the criteria that demand to get into the schools. They're the only ones that can fucking do it.
No, not really. That's not. I mean, so they get a better. Better is not the right word for it, but they get a more aggressive education and primary education than Americans do, and they get forced into doing the work that American students refuse to do. That's what really happens.
So should we change those ideas? Because that's something I've always struggled with.
I mean, you have to balance. You have to balance liberty against everything else, and I always defer to liberty. I'm not going to force anybody to do anything. And Chinese students have a higher IQ than American students.
Yeah.
On average. But they can't create anything. They haven't figured out anything. They couldn't figure out the bomb. They couldn't figure out AI. All the AI tech that they have came from us. All their drone tech, all their fighter jet tech, all their computer tech, it all came from, they stole it from us. All of it. Right? All their biotech came from either us or Israel. Like all the biological shit they're working on over there. The Wuhan lab is founded by the United States, not by fucking China. And it was funded by as well, right?
Right.
And then the other biomedical stuff that they came up with was Israeli. So they don't actually do anything. And it's not about the people being smart or dumb. It's about the government sucking. It's about the system of government and the culture that they have in China you can't fucking get inventive, creative stuff from them because you're a worker, you work hard your whole life, you're forced to actually, right? And you start to succeed and all of a sudden you create something. Who do you think gets credit for that? Dear leader, not you, whomever's rungs above you, right? So people will fucking never, that kind of environment will never, ever, ever succeed long-term without stealing from other people. And that's what they do. And that's why if we wanted to, quote unquote, defeat China, all we have to do is cut off the information supply.
Yep.
All we have to do is stop letting them come here and that country will fucking go away.
Yeah. So I would be 100% fine with that. I would imagine that's part of the biggest negotiation on their side, though, where they were like, hey, we want access to your universities. And we should have said no in that negotiation if that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I thought, me personally, and maybe this is me being dumb, which is probably true. I feel like I'm getting dumber by the year here. I thought most of these guys were probably first generation, and then they were going to these universities.
No, they're immigrants.
No, I didn't know that.
There's like five.
I did not know that.
There's like 500,000, I believe, Chinese immigrants here going to university right now.
Currently?
Yeah.
So I did not know.
I think it's something like that. It's either universities, H-1Bs, or what do you call it? No, H-1Bs. There's more. It's just universities and internships and shit like that. Like in the education pipeline or something, there's about 500.
And they're all immigrants.
Yeah.
We should not allow that at all.
No. We should make the biggest trebuchet ever and launch them all back to wherever the fuck they came from.
They're polite. They'll take a flight. Like, they'll get on.
I don't care about that.
They'll get on a flight.
I mean, you get 1 week, I guess, to get a flight.
Yeah.
And if you're still here.
They'll do it. They'll do it. Next up, ad-wise, we got AmericanFinancing.net/Drinkin Bros. Bob, put that on screen here. And then Gare Bear, Come on up and promote the next street, Gonzo, you got working on. This will get you. Grab a microphone up here, and we'll go through AmericanFinancing.net/Drinkin Bros. All right, kids. For the last 4 years, prices have continued to suck. And let's face it, everybody's been reaching for credit cards to fill, well, they're paying bills, they're paying gas, they're paying everything here. And you gotta fucking pay it down. The APR for credit cards is through the roof. It's anywhere from 20 to 30% right now. However, if you take money out of your house, you're good to go at like 7 to 8%. I don't know what the APR rates are at today. It does change on a daily basis, so check that out. American Financing, though, helps you take out money out of your house, use home equity to pay off all your bills, everything else, and get you going here. So that way you're saving on average, all on average. Their customers are saving about $800 a month just simply by shrinking the APR. Let's see. They've been, they've been licensed in all 50 states. And I think they've been around for like 25 years, man, if memory serves me correct. I'm trying to think of the first time I used them. I've used them like 3 times over the years. It's great. Sometimes you might be able to close in as fast as 10 days. Also, this is the big one, you might be able to delay up to 2 mortgage payments, creating more savings up front. They've helped hundreds of thousands of homeowners create meaningful savings, and it's all reflected in their Google reviews. If you want to go to Google and peep them out over there, they're great, and call today if you need it. If you need the help, you want to pay off your credit cards, you want to pay down your debts, call today at 866-887-2275. That is 866-887-2275 or AmericanFinancing.net/Drinkin Bros. If you want to check them out, like as far as like the Better Business Bureau and all that other stuff, you can check them out on NMLS 182334 and NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Gare Bear, been out in these streets, dude. You've been doing hard work here the last couple weeks. Had a bunch of shit go viral here. You were at the ICE, what was it, the protest down in San Antoine here?
San Antone.
There you go. There you go.
Ross, I got something I want to tell you.
No, you don't say, Gary. You don't say.
A real journalist is a criminal at heart. You don't need credentials. You don't need a badge to tell the truth. You speak truth to power, to authority, regardless of what stands in your way. You do anything to tell the truth, including break the law. Anybody else outside of that is a GINO, J-I-N-O, journalist in name only. They are duly authorized representatives of and for the state. They're government mouthpieces, essentially.
Sure.
And when speaking the truth becomes illegal, a journalist by default becomes a criminal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they do. Gary, I'm with you, Gary. Hey, I'm drinking with you, Gary. I believe in you.
I got one other thing to tell you.
Go ahead. I got nowhere to be.
If there's one thing that I'm good at,
butt sex.
If there's one thing I'm good at, it's crime.
Oh, sorry. I thought butt sex was number one, but yeah, continue.
And Joel and I, Street Gonzo, we are the uncredentialed, illegal press.
I agree.
We are criminal journalists.
Yes, you are.
Anyways, this bitch pissed me off at the protest, so I thought I'd get that out there.
Yeah, no, for sure. Are you showing a clip of that?
No.
What's the clip you're showing today?
I didn't send Bob anything.
Jesus Christ. Are you kidding me,
You want me to
Gary?
send him something real quick?
Are you kidding me,
Hey,
Gary?
Bob, turn your airdrop
It's on,
real
you know
quick.
what? It's on our Instagram if you want to go there. I love that he came in with his huge speech and full of gusto and bravado. And I was like, awesome, man. He's going to play a clip on the show. And he goes, no, I don't have the clip. I don't have the fucking clip.
I'm sending, Bob, I just airdropped it to you.
Jesus Christ.
I'm a little riled up,
Yeah,
boss.
you think so, Gary?
God.
You think so?
I can't catch a fucking break.
No, you can, dude. It is you who's doing this to yourself, all right?
Oh, it's me that took all the pain pills. Whatever.
Yeah,
You
it
sound
is.
like a real queer.
Oh, we'll talk about it after this, okay? As soon as this clip is over. What are we about to watch here?
This is the lady being a bitch to me for no reason.
Great. There you go.
I'm press.
You're press?
Yeah.
We're uncredentialed. We're like illegal press.
I can tell.
What do you think about what's going on?
Dude, come on. I'm not going to do this. I'm here working as well. I'm actually working. I get a salary.
Whoa!
So,
I think you're better than us?
No,
you get a
just get it on
salary?
my
I
face.
get a fucking salary, bitch!
Yeah.
Fucking rude.
I mean, you said you're not a real journalist.
No, I didn't. I said we're uncredentialed. Just because you have a badge doesn't mean you're any better than us.
I'm here working. Leave me alone.
We're working too. What's your fucking problem?
I'm covering, so leave me alone.
Yeah. She was a real bitch.
Whoa, dude, is that what it's getting like out on these streets these days?
That's what it's getting like, Ross.
So-
Reporter on reporter violence. Is that an all-time high?
Now, do you think the problem was approaching her without a shirt?
No. I think without a shirt says, "Hey, I'm unarmed.
Okay.
I'm unarmed.
You
There's
think
no
that's the
knife. There's no
problem,
knife
Delco?
on me." Yeah.
I'm just saying maybe she takes you
Oh,
seriously.
I'm just saying, you sound just like that bitch.
If you have a shirt
I'll
on.
get press tattooed right here if that's the fucking problem.
It is the problem.
I'm sick of doing all the fucking work, and all these fucking dumbass bitches are the ones that are like, oh, I'm the fucking press. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Not you, Delco.
Yeah, not you, Delco.
I'm all
Obviously
riled
fine.
up on pain pills.
Hey, Gare Bear, that's fine. Usually it chills people out. You're amped up tonight, and I love it. Now, in your defense, here's what I'll say, okay?
Okay, say it.
Delco, you mentioned him not being without a shirt on.
Well, it's on his head.
Right.
It was hot.
It was hot. It's hot here, guys.
It was hot,
It's 108s. We live in a goddamn furnace. I'm not going to debate that.
It was over
I'm not
100
gonna debate
degrees.
That. Yes.
I just think that I think the real problem is that Gary has a tough time at this point. He's not acclimated anymore to speaking to a woman who he hasn't paid to speak to him.
Well, stop right there. I'll say this for Gary Faust. Put the camera on me.
Bob.
Put the camera on me. I'll
It's
say
a hell of a thing for you to say to
It
me.
sure is, dude. Quoting fucking R.I.P. Val Kilmer there from Tombstone, and I like that. That's a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Is that where that comes from?
Yeah, that's where it comes from.
Oh.
I will attest to this. Gary gets crazy amounts of pussy. Now, when I say crazy, yes, the girls are literally insane. I'm talking 50, 150, like throw them in the back of a fucking truck, go to a psych ward, and it's like the chicken penguin.
And fuck them.
Yeah, well,
Fuck 'em
you
right
do
in the back
before
of the
that,
truck.
and then all of a sudden they're stabbing shit in your fucking living room, couches, and
I had
everything else.
I had a weird thing on the way here today.
I know you did, Gare Bear. But with that, so let's take my father, for example. I don't know if you know this, Gary. He was a DJ. He also did broadcast for local station journalism forever. So we had to go on these things, and it was called a remote. Dead serious. There's tons of footage on this. We've put it up. It's pretty fucking funny. Which is why also this is a true story. I'm actually going to tell you a true story here. Part of the reason I believed in your show and why we funded it was the fucked up shit my dad used to say because they were live. Like back then in like the 80s and 90s and shit, you were just live on the street. So whatever happened, and there was no 5-second delay with the FCC or anything else, right? So he would just start fucking with these people to try to get higher ratings doing this. So back then, which is kind of an anchorman and should apply today, they were good-looking people. My dad was a good-looking dude. The women were good-looking and all this other shit.
Thank you.
This woman right here, I cannot take seriously with her interviewing somebody in the streets looking like a fucking hag like that. Like, that's not what we want journalists to look like. We want journalists to be Katie Couric, Megyn Kelly. If they're women, we want them to be hot.
Megyn Kelly.
Totally.
I'd knock her down.
I know you would, Gare. She would not want any part of you whatsoever. No. That's a hard no. But with that, on the other side, the dudes. Let's take David Muir and these guys, right? Good-looking dudes where it's like, I'm America's journalist, you need to trust me, and everything else. Now, Gary, you look great shirtless. I think some people are born shirtless. It's you and Matthew McConaughey. Therefore, dude, if you're going to get the story and get the hard-hitting shit in the streets, you should be shirtless. People are going to be real fucking honest with you without a shirt on and be like, you know what? This guy looks trustworthy.
You know what's funny is how you're talking about your dad, and he was saying crazy shit
dead.
to get ratings and stuff. Well, I'm your father, come back from the grave. Nice to see you, son. But the thing about this all is that I'm not even trying to do anything crazy. You know this. I don't think a lot of people are aware that I'm just actually trying to find out what the hell is going on. I think a lot of people think I'm doing some kind of character, or think I'm
not
juicing it up for ratings because they're accustomed to that. But I'm actually I guess just insane.
So part of this, and like obviously this meeting's in Netflix tomorrow. If you follow us on Patreon and put your full episode up, is I've gotten that question from them in the last several days of like, is this real? Everything you guys are seeing is real. He's a real person. None of this is scripted. I don't think any of it's a bit.
No.
I don't think you've ever done bits. You're not a comedian. You're not a stand-up comedian.
No, I actually hate
You're just a real person. So do I, by the way.
The closest,
which is why I love you, because I hate stand-up comedians who come on with bits and whatever, and then when they run out of bits and they're not interesting after 15 minutes.
And it's also very contrived. Anything that's contrived always annoys me. It's when it's forced,
Same.
you know?
Same.
That's what that means, Ross. And
I know what it means.
The closest we've ever come to doing a bit was on the Range Day episode when I asked Jack to give us a walkthrough of Jared's house,
Sure.
MTV Cribs style. That's the closest we've ever come to it. I said, hey, can you walk us through? And Joel will turn this into like an MTV Cribs thing.
Yeah.
I fucking hate fake shit.
So
I
do
don't
I.
do skits anymore.
So do I.
I don't do podcasts anymore. Because now podcasts are so oversaturated that I feel like I'm doing a fucking bit of myself. I get uncomfortable doing it. I would do a podcast if it was a fun hangout type thing, or if I'm on here promoting an episode of the show. But even doing podcasts, I'm like, most of these people that are doing podcasts, they're doing it with the specific intent to milk a clip out of me.
Correct.
And the only reason I know that is because when I used to do a podcast, I was trying to milk clips out of people. And
we don't do that here. We just don't care enough. Like, I think we don't care enough about social media.
This place is run like how AM radio, talk radio is,
Oh, yeah.
which is why I like it. Because I started out doing Come and Talk It and doing talk radio type shit every Sunday.
By the way, that's how my father started.
I
It was
know.
AM radio.
I am your father.
No, you're not my father. Gary.
am.
He's dead.
I am Mr. Patterson.
No.
Come from the
and
grave.
I have two dads. Jer Bear.
You sure do.
Jerry's my other dad. I just sent him Omaha steaks. He got it last night. I love you, but you got to put that in the freezer today before you go to work. Okay, that's it.
Oh,
I was lucky to have two. Go ahead.
Can I get some steaks?
Yeah. Have one of the listeners check the fridge back there. I bet you we got some.
Yeah, give me a steak. I need it. So yeah, check out Street Gonzo. We're on Instagram. Check it out on Drinkin Bros YouTube, obviously.
Yes. You got a new episode up from San Antonio.
Two episodes in 4 days. We dropped the Range Day Christmas special 6 months late, because we forgot that we completely forgot that we recorded that.
Yeah.
And
I don't know how Chuck Liddell threw you through a fucking table. Don't know how you forgot that, but whatever.
Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Doesn't even matter. I threw that table in a dumpster. The point is this. There's 2 episodes out. And one of them's like almost 40 minutes long. The other one's, how long is the other one? 20 minutes? 25
God,
minutes?
dude.
You got an hour of stuff you can go watch. So go watch it and make sure you like it and comment something like Gary's the greatest American journalist or best show on YouTube or something, just so we can boost up the algo, because on Drinkin Bros YouTube, we are getting
throttled.
the pipe.
Yeah.
It's
if
insane.
Look, if we had a fucking pro bono attorney out there for Texas, the lawsuit we could file is massive. We talked to somebody on the inside of YouTube. We've got 12 blocks on the channel, and it's all behind the scenes, and like we know it. We've got screenshots of all of it.
Dude, speaking
we could win
of which,
so much money. It's just filing a lawsuit against Google is so expensive.
So,
my God.
2 things. Number 1, I actually have a fucking screenshot I'm going to send Bob real quick.
Okay.
Of a clip I posted. It might have been yesterday or the day before. And that's one thing. And then the other thing I wanted to say was Lorenzo Adams from Nerdballer.
Yeah.
He's suing YouTube, and we were going to have him on there was a miscommunication a couple weeks ago, but I think
Tell him to come on the show.
I want to fucking have him talk about what this kind of shit that's happening. Show that on the screen, please, Bob, if you don't mind.
Now let's explain this to the audience and the audio listeners.
This is about, and I think about a 23-hour period of time. When you post shorts on YouTube, all the analytics are there. And this short is going basically straight up, as you can see.
Yep.
And then it got flagged, and it said it's under 24-hour fucking surveillance or something.
Okay.
And that's what happens when we get stuff flagged. We're not making this up. It's all of them look like that. They're going straight up, and then they hit a plateau, and they go flat. So what I started doing is an experiment to potentially compile evidence if we do end up suing YouTube, or rather Google is who we'd be suing, I believe.
Yes.
I started posting the exact same things on my personal YouTube channel, which is just Street Gonzo.
And what was the difference?
Dude, on Drinkin Bros, the exact same clips get 10 times the amount of likes and comments as mine do, because we have almost 300,000 subscribers on Drinkin Bros. On my personal YouTube, I have 25,000, and more often than not, they get the exact same amount of views.
Oh, yeah.
But mine just don't get the likes because I don't really give a shit about YouTube. Point is that the point is that it's rigged.
Yeah, it is rigged. And by the way, that's why we did that video deal with Spotify, is they said, hey, whatever you guys publish, we will not touch, we will not throttle. It is there. We do not give a fuck, and therefore the entire network is over there. Now, one more clip I'd like to show to you. Bob, if you'll go to Drinkin Bros Podcast Instagram, we posted this from the ICE protest the other day. If you could pop that up. Yep. Not that one. Oh, but since you're there, that's fun. This is just a fun one for the audience here. This is the greatest clip of the week. Yeah, boom. Thank you for muting it. You recognize what song that was. Oh, look at the form tackle there. My God, that is perfect, dude. I teach kids. That is the exact technique he used to do. His head was up, by the way. His head was up, led with his shoulder. That is exactly how you fucking wrap them up and take them to the ground. That guy played either high school ball or some kind of JUCO at some point in his life.
Did you see the pistol fall out of the pocket?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Come on, man. He knew it. He was a real American.
Real American.
All right. Now, this clip here, where were you? Was this San Antonio here? For we were at the ICE?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is that Marine, quote, air quote, Marine.
Sure.
Yeah, this was in San Antonio.
And this is part of the episode that is up now on our channel, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, play this.
Describe ICE in one word.
Fascist. As a veteran myself, it's saddening. Right after high school, I signed up to try to defend this country.
What branch?
Marines. My grandfather, my great-grandfather, my father, we all fought against fascism. There's all these people in this country that are in support of one guy. They won't admit that he's wrong because they're brainwashed.
You look exactly like the guy on the sign.
Yeah. I know, right?
Can you describe ICE in one word?
So what was the real story with this guy? Because I saw this clip, obviously, and what went on. We know after we talked about the story earlier in the show today that a lot of these guys are getting paid. They're also handing out gear and masks and all this other shit. In your opinion, who is this guy and what the fuck was he doing here?
I have suspicions that this was potentially a Fed who was there undercover, and that was his attempt at blending in. It's hard to tell. It's hard to say. But the FBI has used things like COINTELPRO going back all the way to the 50s and 60s where they use agent provocateurs inside of protests and use those people to incite violence in peaceful demonstrations in order to, bring in the National Guard or the Marines or something like what's going on in L.A. That potentially happened in L.A. too. I don't know anything about what's going on out there, but I have my suspicions. I'm always suspicious of any protest.
Well, we showed the boxes earlier of the guys handing out the masks out of the back of that van, and it's like, hey, dude.
So what's interesting...
and by the way, because those aren't cheap. Those are very expensive, those masks. So it's not like you're handing out napkins to people or fucking, water for $1 or whatever it is, for Christ's sake. Yeah.
So what I also think was very interesting about this protest was that at the end of the march, we talked to the woman who was in the back of the pickup truck shouting and screaming and all that stuff. And I've covered a lot of protests over the past 7 years of my journalistic career. And there's almost always feds in the protest. There's almost always Antifa lurking about somewhere. And there's almost always some shady millionaire or billionaire behind it that's funding it.
Okay.
But I don't talk about things unless I'm pretty goddamn positive about what I'm talking about. And at the end, I talked to this lady and I asked, so how do you guys fund this? Is it donation-based or whatever? She's talking about how they get donations and blah, blah, blah. And I've never heard of the PSL, which is the Party of Liberation and Socialism, or Party of Socialism and Liberation. So I asked, is this a grassroots San Antonio org? She said it is the San Antonio branch. And I thought, oh, interesting. The branch. This is a large organization. It's got a structure to it.
Okay.
So I asked where it started, and she said, well, I've got to go. And she walked away. So I think people in the comments were talking about there's potentially a millionaire business owner that's been funding this group, because if you look at videos of
millionaire or billionaire,
I am not. I only talk about shit that I know what I'm talking about. So I haven't done my research on this yet.
Okay,
but if you look at videos of these protests all over the place, there's a lot of red shirts that say PSL.
Okay,
a lot of them
all right.
in different places. It's not. I'd be inclined to believe that popping up protests like this overnight, that if it's grassroots, it's cannot be that organized.
Where I agree. So let's take the PSL. Where is it located on the shirt? And is it like
It's a red shirt. It says PSL in white letters right on the front. They were the ones running it. And I will also say this. They were all very nice to me, except the lady dodging the question at the end. They were all very friendly and nice people. I had no issue with them. I don't agree with what they're saying, but as a journalist, my allegiance is to the truth. And I cover things objectively, right? I don't agree with what they're saying, but and we like to have a good time and have fun. But I'm not gonna go and agitate these people or cause problems for no reason, because I want to know what they're actually talking about.
Sure.
Most of what they said I don't think made much sense, and or they were misguided. But some of the stuff they said I thought was okay. Sure. You have your right to protest, and you have freedom of speech and freedom of assembly. I don't agree with it. But anyways, the point is that there's videos of these people wearing these shirts all over the place.
Yes. And then you can watch Street Gonzo on YouTube. That episode is up now regarding the ICE protests and everything else. Last question for you, Gare Bear, before you get out of here, because we got to get to the Drinkin Bro of the week, obviously. Got some listeners who've been here for a few hours. Somebody knocked over a fucking table back there.
Yeah.
And Jesus Christ.
those
Once
guys.
that hard AF seltzer kicks in, bro, we try to warn people every time.
Every time.
But they're like, it tastes like liquid Jolly Ranchers. Dude. It's too good to keep drinking it. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's 8%, bro.
Ross,
Like,
I stole a pack out of there the other day.
Yeah.
And
you don't have to steal anything.
I was
you can take a pack. We don't care. A 12
well, you know, whatever. I'm just accustomed to using that terminology.
Yeah, I know you are.
But
man, I was incarcerated. It's like no, you were in jail.
So I told this chick, I was like, hey, these are pretty strong. They're 8%. I secretly think that they're higher than 8%. For real. I actually
They're
mean
not.
that.
That would be against the law.
I know it would be, but somebody's tinkering with them or something.
No, that'd be against the law. We can't do it.
So same thing as always, though. She's like, I can drink. Well, first of all, you're a woman. You can't. Second of all, I've seen grown men drink like 6 or 7 of these back there and black out.
Yeah.
Literally.
I know.
And then shit all over the toilet and rub it on the walls.
Sororities and fraternities are doing this hard AF challenge right now where they're seeing how many they can shotgun. Like, I would not recommend that.
God damn, we're going to get sued.
We're not.
Street Gonzo's going down the shitter.
We're not getting sued. It's not. It's out of our hands at that point. But whatever it is, it is. So this was the last question I had for you. I just got a call earlier about going to the championship for the Arena League and then going on the field, the players, the stadiums, and being in the locker room afterwards to interview all the champions of the Arena League football. If you want to do it on Monday night. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. So we'll send you there.
All right.
And they'll get, hey, by the way, they're going to give you access to the actual press conference, and you'll be able to ask the owners and all that shit questions.
Hey, Ross, let me tell you something. I don't even want access. I'll sneak in myself. They'll never know what's coming. I gotta go.
Yeah, we're proud of you, Gare Bear. All right, kids. Now's the point of the show. We get to the Drinkin Bro of the week, which is, somebody who inspires you, helps you become the person you are today. You can do that at drinkinbros.com. While you're there, subscribe to the Bro Box. Bob, if you want to pop that on screen, feel free. We got all the fun shirts, all the fun hats. This one I'm wearing right now today, actually. Scroll down. Oh, yeah, there it is. Click that on. Bob, click on the hat. Boom. Now click on white, because I'm a white man. And, this is the one I got. Right there. Go next to it. There it is, Bobby. There it is, Bobby. 3 sticks. State of Texas, obviously, where Austin is, and I got this hat on today. I love it. Brandon designed this, our merch guy, and I love it, Brando. Just ordered this one for myself, and all the merch store is stocked up with the glassware is super underrated, so go there and get that as well. And then they got coolers, all the fun shit, barbecue for the summer, tailgates. Also for Hardy F Seltzer, we have Tall Boys coming in August. Holy shit, dude, to all of these college states, and it's going to be a fucking blast. But you can also submit for Drinkin Bro of the Week. It gets emailed to us live on air, or you can go through the app, Drinkin Bro's app. It is free. Dan and I pay for it. Somebody said on the other day, oh, you're using my fucking data. I don't even know what that is, bro. I don't even know how to do it. I wouldn't even know who to sell that to. Nor do I have time or anything else. And like the dipshits that set it up don't either. It's just easy now. And there's a wall on there that is like Facebook, except there is no admins. You can post whenever you want. People have been posting some really cool shit, some really graphic shit. I saw somebody's wife's asshole the other day that was a little bit shocking to me. It was a nice asshole, don't get me wrong. I was just surprised that he filmed it that early in the morning, I guess, because you can put 30 seconds of video, too, on that app. Again, it's all free, and we're paying for it. I don't know what that fucking charge is going to be at the end of the month, but whatever. We'll find out. Or come on down to the studio in Austin, Texas, and we'd love to have you live on screen here. Who do we got back there? We got a bunch of listeners on the show today. Come on down, sir. Come on down. There you go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's the music. Proud of you. Yeah. Come on and sit up in the big boy's seat, brother. Oh, you're a wee man. You're a tiny little sprout, aren't you?
I'm 5'9".
Put that about an inch from your face.
There we go.
Okay, so when people say they're 5'9" dudes, that means you're 5'7".
Maybe, yeah. That sounds about right.
Come on, man.
Let me lie, man. It's for the audio listeners.
It's not, though. When they pan back and forth, they'll go, look at that.
All
Holy
right.
shit.
Well, you're 6'4".
We represent the lollipop land, the lollipop land, the lollipop land.
Let him stand up. See if he can fit in frame.
Wait,
come on,
yes.
man.
If you can stand up and fit in frame, this will be the key. Go ahead.
Okay.
Stand up. That's it.
Shit. Yep, I'm going to fit in frame.
No fucking way.
My license says 5'9". Thank you.
Yeah. So
Thank
did
you for embarrassing me. in front of 10 million.
Trump, and when he got arrested in fucking Fulton County, said he weighed 215. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. I feel like sitting in the chair should scratch my beard and sigh a lot.
I know, right? or sniffle or sneeze or Jesus Christ.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's, you can pull people out of the military. You can't teach them to do an audio show. Where it's just like, they can hear every single thing you do, right? Yeah. For me, yeah, exactly. And for me, I'm a professional. Like because I got shit going on up here with sinuses and everything else, Sudafed behind the desk.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, just this. Just move the mic away. That's it.
Yep.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Even Giorgio, we were in North Carolina, tried to set up a button for him.
Yep.
Like one of those, hey man, just hold the button.
Yes.
No.
I worked in radio for a while, so I had
do
to
it.
learn.
Yeah,
how
you
to
got a nice
do that
voice.
shit.
It's not
thank
mine,
you.
but it's
Thank you.
good.
I'm a DJ, so it works
Are you
out.
really?
Yes. Yeah.
What do you DJ for?
I do. Well, I used to do a lot of nightclubs, but I had a kid.
Coming to the stage,
Yeah.
chandelier.
I did a lot of strip clubs. Yes, I did.
Yeah, you did.
Give it up for Lexus.
Lexus.
But yeah, no, I do.
Give her $550.
And
Yeah,
I do a lot
understand
more like corporate gigs and shit now, and weddings and shit like that.
Right on. What's your name?
Doug Poole.
Doug Poole. Right on, dude. And you're wearing our merch.
I am. Yes.
Fuck yeah,
Love it.
dude.
Fits
Love to
great.
see it. I know. The merch is great. And so I'll tell you this. Here's an honest story about our merch. You can make the cheap shit like what is it?
Next Level.
No, Next Level's good. I like Next Level actually. What is it? Guillotine.
Gillian.
Yeah, that's it. Dude, if I get a fucking one of those shirts, I'm pissed off about it.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be itchy, rashy, and I never wear it again. The deal with ours, and Black Rifle Coffee does the same, where it's if you make something comfortable, your margins are going to be worse. You're not going to make as much money as everybody else, whatever, but everybody wears it and supports the shit you're doing. So it's like, come on, man. What's the value there, lifetime, and all that? I'd rather make just cool shit, dude.
Dan talks about that a lot, right? So it's time value over whatever.
It is, and it's totally true, man. Because it's like, dude, like there was this local band that played here. I don't even know how big they are. They're called the Record Company, and we saw them. Some friends of ours took us in the neighborhood. Great bands, I loved them, and then they had dope merch. Well, the merch was so dope, I just kept wearing the shirt everywhere. And everywhere I went, everybody's like, who the fuck is the Record Company? I was like, oh, it's a band. I was like, they're fucking great. And they were like, oh, shit. So that's the difference.
Exactly.
And like, I know it. I know
you
that's
don't
what
have to be
happens.
a fan of whatever's on the shirt. You just
Correct.
Like that. Yep.
Then you'll be like, all right, maybe I'll give that a shot, whatever it is.
100%. No,
Yeah.
I agree.
Who do you want to give Drinkin Bro of the Week to?
I got two. One of which is a dipshit in your chat right now, Chris Bowen. He's the one that turned me on to the show.
Okay.
About 2 years ago. And then my second one is my brother, who's asleep in the car, in our rental car
Right now? Is he blacked out?
No, he's...
He blacked out from the hard ass?
So we flew in from Florida this morning.
Okay.
We were up at 4 a.m. and then he...
Did you crack the windows?
No. It's Texas.
He's going to die.
Nah, yeah.
No, you got to go. How long has he been sleeping in there?
Car's on. The car's on.
Okay, car's on. All
I
right.
left him a bottle of water.
I didn't know if this was a Casey Anthony sitch where it was just like,
Well, that's funny
I'm going to
enough.
give you a Z-bar and I'm going out to the nightclub. Whoopsies. I'm going to put you in the trunk.
A long, funny story off air, but she lives like 20 minutes away from me.
Currently?
Yes.
What state?
And I'm in Florida. Funny
Oh,
enough,
she's
you guys
still in
keep
Florida?
saying PSL. I live in a city called Port St. Lucie.
Oh, I know Port St. Lucie very well.
Yeah, so that's where I
yeah.
live in PSL right now. And then she lives in Tequesta, which is just short of, like just north of West Palm.
Okay.
Just south of Martin County.
Would you hit it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like straight up without a rubber, too. 'Cause, you know,
It's not like she's keeping that
bro's
kid.
second choice.
Yeah. As long as she's keeping that kid, bro. Oof. God, we got dark here at the end, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
I thought it was going to be a clean show. and
No,
then-
hell no. I have two things.
Got it.
One is,
Fire away.
holy shit, Gary is really Gary.
Dude.
Oh,
so-
my God.
All right. So here's the story. I got to go to LA for this meeting with Netflix and everything else. And like, you go and they ask you like a million questions about all of it, right? And like, that's the question I keep getting. Is this a real person? Is this a bit? Are any of these people actors? Because some of it's so shocking that you don't believe it,
You don't,
right?
yeah.
And so when people come in here, they want to meet him to make sure it's a real person. And I'm like, this is one of the main things I have to go to this fucking meeting for. The second thing is insurance. Of like, okay, if this guy is totally real, how the fuck do we insure this or this show? And like that, I don't really know the answer to, full disclosure. And I think Jackass, like, they're the only ones that might, but that was also 20 years ago. I mean, we're in a different time now. So like, I have no idea what the rules and regulations are.
Scripted, right? So now that's
No.
probably,
Jackass was all real.
No, I'm saying like a lot of the new shit. Like all
Oh,
of
yes, the new
this,
shit, yes. So, like, when Gary was on that rant earlier about he hates the new age of, like, where none of it's real or this is pranks and all this other shit, like, even my kids are onto it on YouTube where, like, they'll say their favorite, they'll see their favorite YouTubers and be like, Dad, that prank is fake.
Yeah,
and I go,
it's
yes,
set
it
up
is.
bullshit, yeah.
And then they hate it, and then they turn it, and they don't like those people anymore. And I think that's the genuine love for Gary and Street Gonzo is that what you're seeing is real 100%.
That is him. That's
And by
hilarious.
the way, the biggest pushback from our audience has been like, hey, if this goes to Netflix, will it change? And I said, no, it will not. But obviously, it'll be up to them in this meeting tomorrow. And if they say, hey, we want some things to change, then we're like, well, no, fuck off. I don't care. Because I think he'll blow up on his own, to be honest with you.
Of course.
So it's one of those things where win-win, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think he'll blow up on his own anyways, if he can stay alive.
But true. Second thing, Hard AF, I cannot get in Southeast Florida. So you guys switched distributors or some shit. So it went this far. So
I'll tell you the story if you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we've been getting really fucking big, and and it's great. It's been awesome. Like we have, like I'm on an email now. We have 27,800 cases being made here in the next 3 weeks.
Awesome.
That is a big boy company.
That is.
That is 55,000-ish 12 packs, which is fucking gnarly, right? Like that's it. That is a monster. So like even I'm just like, holy shit. Like that's crazy, right? Now with that, when you sign, it's really hard to get in these states. And I talked to a listener named Ricky Lawrence. Those guys organized us to try to get into Washington. There's so many stipulations with the big distributors that you need, because you need these guys, where they either ask for a chain. So in Washington, they're asking for Safeway. They're like, we need a Safeway contract from this distributor for you to distribute it in the state of Washington, because otherwise it's not worth it for us. Now, I haven't been to Washington, so I don't know. Right. There must be a Safeway every 10 miles or whatever it is, right? And it might be like for here, it's HEB. So, okay, cool. I understand that. So for Florida, we signed with a smaller distributor just to get out into the world, right? Hey, just put our product out into the world. Product gets bigger, and then they don't have enough manpower to service it. So the last company they were with, They only had 9 or 10 people working there. Florida's a huge state.
It is.
9 or 10 people can't do that.
That distributor told all the Total Wines on the East Coast that you guys went out of business. And I was like, well, that's bullshit.
No,
because
well,
they didn't. And
he was pissed off because we left.
So are you guys AB now in Florida?
Yes.
Okay.
And so it started off in, so with all the AB networks there, I think there's 8. We just signed on with the first 2, and we're in 400 locations in Tampa already.
Yes.
400 locations in Tampa, Clearwater, St. Pete, Tallahassee.
Yep.
So the people were bitching in Tallahassee, by the way, were like, hey, you finally got it.
So
it's
what
there.
I did was I called Total Wine in Tampa, and then I was like, hey, who's the distributor for this? And then I called my local liquor store. I'm like, hey, it's an AB product. And they're like, they don't have it. So then I called an AB rep because I run restaurants during the day.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Great. Great. So you know what we're going through.
So
yeah.
I called my rep who I DJ'd his wedding, and I'm like, hey, fuckface, I need hard AF.
Yeah.
He's like, send me a picture of it. I'll order it. So
perfect.
Hopefully
so
that'll help.
It'll, and it will, and it'll spread out through the state after that. But like, the gig, and it's like, when you like, and I feel bad too, but it's like, sometimes you outgrow people, and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, I mean, it's 7 people can't handle fucking 27,000 cases. But
no. Well, I mean, 7 people can't handle the state of Florida, for Christ's sakes.
sure.
Like, it's too big of a state to cover.
It is.
And then let's take Pennsylvania, for example. So Pennsylvania, the state of Pennsylvania, we're with 7 AB distributors there. So, like, they're each covering a territory. Pittsburgh, Philly, Penn State, a fucking thing. So it's like, that's how big Pennsylvania is.
Yeah.
People forget how big these states
Yeah.
are, and it's like, okay, cool. Texas is fucking massive. Like, I mean, the biggest one of all is California. And California was like, why aren't you in California? And I was like, because it's so big, like,
and it's also fucking California,
right? And we need, but like, there's a lot of bases there and all that other shit. We have a ton of listeners there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It comes in number 2 for us, by the way. On
shit. Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay,
behind the
cool.
scenes. And so it's like you got to service 40 million people potentially, or whatever it is, and you cannot run out. So yeah. Some of these distributors that are smaller, like Tennessee, we just had to exit out of that contract because they were smaller. We've got to go to the bigger one. Florida, exit that one, go to the bigger one. So, like,
awesome.
It's not leaving your state for very long. It'll come back, but then there's rules and stipulations and all that other shit. So, like Florida,
delicious.
thank you very much.
Yes,
and it's
absolutely.
all
You guys
Liquid
did a
Jolly
great job.
Ranchers and all that other stuff. And with Florida, we had to buy our way out of that contract with the smaller distributor. And here's the thing.
And I know who it is, and I won't dox them, but I know who it is too.
I did too. They sold, so it doesn't really matter anyways. But like, for them being dicks, I don't really understand because we paid the buyout fee. So like, I paid you.
Yeah,
and,
exactly. And then you still went,
so to call people and tell people in Florida we're out of business, shitty, because it's like, dude, I paid you the buyout fee, and it's in our contract, and like, I didn't do anything illegal. I didn't slam you on the show. I didn't do any of that shit. Like, I just did legally what you do, and I go. And even the guy himself, I go, I'm sorry that you don't have enough people. Like, and then he sold the fucking company. So they're not even there anymore.
So the first Drinkin Bro, the Chris Bowen I was talking about, the reason I knew that, and I was like, no, they're not going to have business. I was like, my buddy just put
expanding.
5K.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, they're definitely still much a company. So.
Well, not only that, but like we've expanded to 5,000 retailers now.
That's awesome, man.
We got every Albertsons in Idaho, half of Montana, all the HEBs here, all that other shit.
Awesome.
Like, I mean, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, which is great.
Good shit.
But on the flip side, I got to keep going at the back end of this, and like, my God, dude, it's you get nervous.
Yeah.
You get nervous that kind of volume where you're like, holy shit, dude, what's gonna happen here?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. And I've had a few today, so I can.
I've had 2, and that's all I'm gonna do. Listen, I drink tequila religiously, and 2 of those, and I'm like, okay,
you ready to rock?
It's
a great feeling.
Yeah, it is.
It's a great fucking feeling.
That's awesome.
But we appreciate you being here, man.
Thank
for
you
real.
for having me, man.
And was there another guy back there who wanted to come up as well? Is he still here, or is he blacked out?
If I stand up on the chair, I'm out of.
There he is. Oh, he's alive, and he's holding the Hard AF seltzer in the air. There you go. There you go. Cheers to you, friends. Cheers to you. Put that mic about an inch from your face. Who are you texting right before going on?
No, I was setting up who all my Drinkin Bros were.
Oh, they're on the. You put them on the phone.
Put them on.
You have that many? You got a list? You got a Santa list?
Yeah, there's some of them.
Look, all out.
I'll tell you my first one. My first one is Hard AF and First Form, because when you told us to be quiet back there,
was you?
We were drunk off of Hard AF.
I know. That's what happens.
We were talking about First Form.
I know. First Form's
the
great.
The fucking bars were amazing.
Dude, I told you.
You weren't lying. You were not lying.
We wouldn't do this shit like, because here's the thing. If we promote shit on the show that you don't like and you think we're liars, then chances are you won't listen to the show. So we try to get shit we love. This is here. It's right here. I love it. They are the best in the biz. Now, I always ask your name first. So what is your name, sir?
Dakota.
Dakota.
Yes, sir.
Last name private? Or redacted?
Diaz.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're wearing a Bro Box shirt, so
Yes,
you can
sir.
say whatever you want today. You can list off
The
as many
N-word?
Drinkin Bros. I wouldn't say that. It's going to come back on you, not on me,
Yeah,
friend.
I'm just kidding.
I don't care about YouTube. Who do you got on there?
All right. So the first one is Queen, and she ran out because
Queen?
Yeah. We
What's
have
her
5
story?
kids together.
Okay.
Or not together, but she has 3. I have 2. They're all boys, and it's amazing. We fucking love it. It's Father's Day weekend. If you're thinking about having kids, do it.
Yeah, it's great.
That's absolutely the best thing. I'd never
Love
held
being
a
a dad.
kid.
Same here. Yep.
Never did any of that shit. Changed my life.
I know.
It's literally
It's
the best thing that you can do.
It's the best.
It's the best thing.
I enjoy being a father more than anything else in this world.
Yes, it's absolutely amazing. And Ryan Mills.
Mills.
Shout out for him.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I just met him through like Facebook and everything like that. And when he goes to HEB, I show up and we I help him like do the hard AF and everything like that. So that's shout out to him for sure. And we have Mike Vida and Aaron Kreider. Actually, Aaron Kreider got me into this show when it was with Terrace Whisperer. It was the first show I listened to.
Dude, that was a great episode, man. I
Yeah.
remember that. We were in North
Got me locked
Carolina, and there's some episodes as a host that I get lost in where I'm just like, holy shit, I'm so involved in this guy's story. I think that was, at the time, that was the longest show we ever did, and I was just so wrapped up in the guy's story, I had no idea what time it was. I try not to go past 2 hours just simply because it's like, dude, I don't know who's in the car past that. I've never been able to listen to a full Rogan, for Christ's sakes. It's just too long, but I love that show.
Yeah, it was great. And then I got Frankie Riley. I got him into Drinkin Bros, and he's a daily listener all the time.
Awesome. Frankie Riley.
Yeah, and I gave my dad a shout out for his birthday. Remember about the Drinkin Bros cup?
Yeah.
The golf one?
Yeah.
Y'all sent out?
Oh, yeah.
And
Somebody jacked it from me, yeah.
Yeah, and
That's the
someone
best.
jacked my chair.
I know.
So we share something together.
I know.
I put the chair in the back of my truck, and I went to a 3-day weekend for baseball, and that shit was gone. Someone stole my Drinkin Bros chair. And
The chair is really nice. Everything we make is very high quality.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, dude. So I'm happy and I'm sad for you. I'm happy that Drinkin Bros is at least going to a new person and maybe a new listener.
And I'm gonna quiz you. So if I'm looking at the camera right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
And if you have a Drinkin Bros fucking chair, and I start asking you questions, you know what the fuck you're talking about? That's my chair. And I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
And let us
That's
know.
my
Keep us
chair.
in the loop and let us know. Okay?
I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
Yeah, no, I hear
And
you.
then Boomtastic fireworks stand off 1187. That's my buddy Justin and Diamond. They opened
Sell
up
fireworks?
Yeah, this is the first time last year doing the fireworks stand. I can do that, right? I can advertise.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yes, any
Thank you,
listener,
thank you.
any listener we have, we don't care.
Boomtastic fireworks, off 1187 in like if you're in the North Texas area, DFW area, that's the place to go. They have amazing fireworks. They went to Kansas City. They traveled the world to get the best fireworks. Show up. It's a teal building off of 1187 in DFW, Texas.
And they're offering you a 3-finger deal only today at Boomtastic's Fireworks.
2 in the pink, 1 in the stink.
No, I mean you're gonna get your. You're gonna get JPP. You know, Jean-Pierre Piol. Like Jean-Pierre Piol. That was one of the best 4th of July stories ever. Where it's just like, man, did you really light this off in your fucking hands? Fun fact here, and we'll get out of here. This is the last one, right? Nobody else is coming up. Is anybody else coming up? Oh, he wants to too.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's
that's
got
fine.
one more right here. He wants to
When
come
we
up.
bought this building, they said, "Hey, there's like a right of work space or whatever the fuck what it is or whatever," and somebody had claimed that they had worked on this land, and you got to find out who it was. It was an old Mexican fireworks shop that used to set up here on 4th of July, and so there's some weird rule in Texas that like if this guy ever shows up, we have to permit him to allow him to sell fireworks on the property for 1 week. And super strange. And so he's out there. He's never come back and taken us up, done it, but chances are he's back in Mexico, friend.
Yeah, Mexico. He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. He's gone. One more? Who do we got? Come on up. Yes. Let's rock. We're there. I like the speed, too, dude. The tenacity.
I know y'all play
That was a nice 40-yard dash up here, man.
I know you guys. Let's not talk about 40-yard dashes.
Why? What do you think you run these days?
Well, high school, I ran about a quick 6'8", 40-yard
Did
dash.
you really?
I was fat as shit.
I barely snuck under a 5, dude. We talked about it on the show.
Well, you had muscle mass.
I did. No. So here's
you were chubby?
I know. I was the opposite. So I was 6 feet, 6 feet a half. When they measured me in for college, 6 feet and a half inch, and I think like 165, 170 or whatever. I mean, I was bone thin, and it was just holy shit, man.
Gotcha. Well, I was government issued 5'10", still on my ID, but government issued 5'10" and about a good 250. So I was a chunky going into high school.
250, huh?
I was just I just had a good time with snacking and puberty.
I could not put on a pound to save my life.
I did.
That changed later in life.
Good for you. Good for you.
No,
on
no, not good for me. Like,
that's part of getting older.
I stayed a polite 160. You know,
a polite. There you go. A gentleman.
Heroin chic. No, I'm kidding. It's 6'3.5" now.
A
I
gentleman's
would not.
Jared Leto figure.
Yeah, exactly.
You
God, you can wear women's shit though. Like, I had like a dope sweater where you're like, oh, okay, cool. That looked better on me than one on you.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Tomato, potato.
Sure. What's your name?
My name's Clay.
Clay, where are you from?
Yes, sir. Originally from about an hour south of Houston, a small town called El Campo, Texas.
Are you near Beaumont?
I don't know the exact geography, but it's within an hour somewhere radius.
I know. That's what everybody says about Texas.
Hour and a half somewhere.
Whenever you
radius.
name a town in Texas, everybody says the exact same thing. I think I'm about an hour from there.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
I should know the answer because I'm closer, but I don't, and I just don't care about Beaumont. I know y'all do for good reason.
Beaumont Renegades. Hey. Let's go this weekend. Go buy tickets.
Hey, they play football.
DrinkinBrosTickets.com.
Hey, they play football. I don't. I can't say no to that.
It's great. They're in the championship on Monday night.
There you go.
We're supporting it. Who do you want to give Drinkin Bro of the Week to?
So I'm going to make it quick. I got a small little grocery list here. First and foremost, I want to give it out to Percy English. He is one of my old bosses through 2 different jobs back in my hometown, El Campo, Texas. He gave me a job at 2 very low points in my life. And through one of those points, I also met my now ex-girlfriend who, without all of that connection, I would not have found you guys. Because once I moved in with this ex-girlfriend, we lived right down the road at Alistair Oak Hill, those apartments right down the road.
Oh,
right
no
there.
shit. Okay.
Yeah. And one day I was driving down to work further into Dripping Springs, saw the sign for the podcast, and I was just like, oh, hey, look at that podcast. Looked at y'all up on Apple.
Yeah.
And at that time, the newest episode was when Blink-182 put out their new episode, or I'm sorry, not
new album,
their new single for Edging.
Yeah,
right before the album. And so I listened to that episode, and I was like, hell yeah, this is awesome. I love Blink-182. Got the tattoo and all that good stuff. And then the next episode, maybe like a day or 2 later, was just something politically like on my side, and I was just like, all right, here we go. And then just story from there, just became a fan all in from there. Good stuff. And just because of all that good stuff, and once I ended up leaving Austin, going back to El Campo, and finding a new job with my old boss Percy, just in a new company. He's just a very stand-up dude. He took me in at just a time when he did not need a new employee. I did not really I don't want to say I didn't deserve it, but it was just a low time in my life. And I just very much appreciate him taking me in when he didn't have to. And it was just a very, very good time.
That's an awesome story. What's the name of his company?
5E Ranch Products.
Okay,
he pushes cottonseed, corn, soybean corn mix products, things like that for hunting hunters. Has deer feeders.
Do they have a website?
I should know this off the top of my head. I don't. I apologize, Percy. But you could just Google 5E Ranch Products, El Campo, Texas.
Okay.
And you'll find it from there. And he's a very stand-up dude. He'll do what you can.
Awesome.
And so I appreciate for him.
No worries, man. We appreciate you being on the show today.
Sorry, the stutter and the drinks was good stuff. I was the slap dick that was that started started the conversation about the first form stuff that got you yelling at us. So that
yeah. Oh, look, we're used to it though. Look,
yeah, it was
everybody
fun
comes in, they've never had these, and then they're always shocked. Like 3 in, where they're like, "Oh man, I'm super fucked up." I was like, "Yeah, man, it's still 8%."
Yeah, but 8%. Just had to give that little apology because we were the slapdicks back there, but it's fun stuff.
No, you're good.
Then Father's Day weekend, I want to throw it out to my dad because biology, wouldn't be here without him. But then also just what he raised me on, wouldn't be here without him, literally, figuratively. His commitment to public service. He was a paramedic for 40 years back in our hometown, and bless you. I just appreciate that. I tried to follow his footsteps to be a first responder. It just didn't work out, but I still just, 40 years to public service like that, it's just admirable.
Absolutely.
You don't see that nowadays. And so I just want to shout him out for that because I love you, Dad. That's fantastic.
And same, I'm going to give out one of my own here. My other dad, who's still alive, Jerry, just sent him Omaha. I literally sent him a box of Omaha steaks.
Attaboy.
.com. Yeah, I did use my own promo code Drinkin Bro for $35 off, though. I did. No lie.
In this economy,
yes, dude. Like any savings, I'm going to do it.
Come on.
So it got there last night, and dude, they're still available for Father's Day, so they'll do it overnight. Like that's it. So we got it last night, and he was super stoked. He was like, "Jesus Christ, how much was this? Like, this is fucking insane." I was like, "It's not that crazy of a price. It's just if you're doing it in bulk like that, you can get great discounts." And he was super amped, so I sent him that. I'm going to give him a happy Father's Day as well on this show, although you got your fucking gifts last night, all right? That's a lot. You're asking a lot here of me. And then a couple quick updates for the rest of the week here for Drinkin Bros themselves. Tomorrow is a pre-taped show with Derek Whita. Derek Whita, we were in St. Louis. He is back blasting out workouts. He's entering a new CrossFit competition. And so we love him. He's one of our best friends, has been for many, many years. And got him back on the show because he lives in St. Louis, so we don't get to see him that much anymore. So he will be on Friday. It is a pre-taped show also. We have a bonus show going out Friday night. A good buddy of ours from that popular show Loveline with Dr. Drew. Mike Catherwood is here as well. That was a weird, fun show. We're going to pump out some extra content over the weekend because a lot of people are making drives for Father's Day and whatnot. And also it gives some of our employees time off, in particular Delco, who has been burning it at both ends here, and at least he'll have a 3-day weekend. So he shot all these, and from time to time, because we travel on the road, it's not always easy, and it's nice to have a pre-taped episode in the bank. I promise you, though, it's a banger. It's Derek Whita. We love him, and Derek is still Derek, okay?
We got a bonus episode on Patreon Friday night as well.
Correct. So looking forward to that. For your show or ours?
For Drinkin Bros.
Oh, for Drinkin Bros,
with
yes.
Mike.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So, like, we got everything is going on, man. And we love you guys. Thank you for the support, for real. Day in and day out. Go to Spotify. Rate the show a 5-star. We're video now on Spotify. So this show right now that you're hearing my voice on will be up on Spotify tonight. And then go to iTunes, rate the show a 5-star, and leave a quick review. I promise you the advertisers still give a fuck about that. That's what keeps the lights on and all this other shit. And go to hardyfseltzer.com. Go to store locator, enter your city or zip, and buy a 12-pack and support us. All right? And it's fucking U.S. Open. It's Father's Day, for Christ's sakes. We're raging. We love you.
We're still hanging on.
Hanging on, dude. Barely. Every year, I feel like we're just barely hanging on. For D'Anthony Hollaway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the Drinkin Bros podcast. Good night, everyone.